Well, folks, they say everything's bigger in Texas. But in Minneapolis, it's tougher. The Austin Lone Stars look to shine here tonight in Minneapolis, taking on the Minnesota Chippers in Week 5 of the UFL Coast to Coast. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody, alongside my partner, John Warren. My name is Eric Benson. Appreciate your company as always, and looking forward to this clash tonight. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at BFN HQ, producing as always and supplying you little crackheads with the bingo numbers. John Warren, talk to me, Goose. What's going on tonight?
Oh man, we've got a big matchup here. The Chippers have not had a good stretch over the past few weeks. I was here a few weeks ago for their matchup against Dakota. It did not go well. They're now going up against the hottest team in football, the Austin Lone Stars. I can't wait to see what the Lone Stars can do. But this is a real turning point for the Chippers. If they manage to get an upset today, it could totally right the ship, change the entire tenor of their season, and knock the league a little bit upside the head. So I can't wait to see Minnesota come out here. They're going to get the ball first. Let's see what they do.
And off we go here from the Twin Cities. And that one's just going to sail out of the back of the end zone. We'll see Doug Falk come out at quarterback for the Chippers. One against a hot New Orleans Claws team in Week 1. Since then, they have dropped 3 straight, trying to right that ship here at home. And they're going to start with play action. Falk with a clean pocket, wants to go deep, and he's incomplete. And that'll give us an opportunity to look at the Chippers offense here, John.
Yeah, we just saw Tyler Falk drop that, but he really is the big target for Doug Falk. There's some firepower on this team when Falk wants it, but Rob Noel has been slow to start. He's only averaging 3.8 from the backfield against one of the best run defense teams in the league, so this is going to be a tough one.
Falk back to the air, pressure coming in his face, and he's going to go down.
Case in point.
No shots to get out of that one. Realist Triplett, unclaimed defensive tackle with the sack.
Yeah, Triplett's just one of the stronger players on this team, and you can see double team, doesn't matter, swims across, able to find Doug Falk. Falk held on to it a little bit too long, didn't like what he saw downfield, I suppose. Not a great start to this drive.
Also, greetings to you, Ellie, in the chat. Appreciate you guys all coming in, hanging out, and watching Week 5 of UFL Coast to Coast kicking off right now. Blitz coming once again. Doug Falk has no choice but to check this one down, and it was going absolutely nowhere. Good coverage there on the tight end. Actually, it was wide receiver Isaiah Moody with his first catch. As we get a look at Doug Falk's numbers, it's been underwhelming, as you mentioned, John, through this first little bit of the season.
It has not been strong. Tyler Falk is a really great target for Doug, but there's not a ton else on the squad. Isaiah Moody has had some flashes, but there's just kind of an issue of weapons here.
3 and out to start things off for the Chippers. Certainly not what the Minnesota faithful were looking for. And now Austin gets their first crack at the football on the road, coming in undefeated at 4-0. And quarterback Shy Ronnie at the helm. He'll start off in the gun. Quick fires one off to the right-hand side, and that is dropped incomplete. We'll get a look at the Lone Stars offense.
Yeah, good line up front that does good protection for Shy Ronnie, but it's really these skill players, right? Churchill, Woodstone. Mika Friday just had that drop at a huge target for Shy Ronnie to find. Just so many weapons, including Mike Churchill, Andy Beaverhausen. That's a real embarrassment of riches for the Lone Stars. They have used them effectively so far this season.
Ronnie wants to go back to the air. He's going to go opposite side. Individual coverage and incomplete. Could have easily been an interception from the defense. And speaking of that defense, we'll take a look at him here.
Yeah, we've seen some flashes from this team. Randy Tremaine, Brennan Allen there at linebacker. We've also seen some of these safeties come up in big moments, but for the most part, they've had struggles this season, although it is probably the stronger part of this Minnesota Chippers team.
Would have been a huge turnover to start things off here for the Chippers. Green trying to get set up. Good blocking there out front and just good individual effort to get around all of the tacklers by Woodstone. And that's impressive to get out of that with all that pressure in the face of Shairani.
That was super impressive, and it's just kind of what Shairani's been doing all season, just really impressing us with not only her patience and her awareness, but also making defenders miss, making defenders think that they've got her in their grasp, and then getting away.
Leads the league in both passing yards and passing touchdowns. 12 touchdowns to just 1 pick on the early season. That'll be a completion for the Lone Stars. D'Amica Friday, she secures her first catch, and it's a first down for Austin.
Yeah, Mika Friday had to kind of turn awkwardly to catch that. That was an impressive catch, actually. It was a little bit behind Mika Friday, but still able to come up with it and get the first down.
Now they'll set up in the red zone with a fresh set of downs. Ronnie back to the air, wants to go,
Ooh.
And she's got the target. Ooh, what a hit at the goal line. Looked like that was going to be for 6. Annie Beaverhousen almost got herself into the paint, but it's going to be a first and goal from the 1.
Oh, Annie Beaverhausen could, just taste the end zone. She was brought down, but what a catch and what an escape there. Good route run, too. Going up at the point to catch. Morton there with a good defense, actually, but Beaverhausen just stronger, better at the point of attack.
Ready to break. Here we got Mike, number 53. Mike.
It's now first and goal from the 1. Setting up in the gun. Ronnie wants to throw. Good clean pocket. Throws incomplete. First of all, it was a deflection by Watts, and then almost went to Woodstone.
It almost dropped perfectly into Mike Woodstone's hands. That would have probably been a touchdown, but instead it fell to the ground.
Now more conventional heavy set here in goal line situations. Woodstone got to get buried in the backfield. He will lose a yard, courtesy of the tackle by Joseph Alexis.
Yeah, Alexis was there to sniff that out, really read that play well. Also, good shedding those blockers up front as well. So good job picking up the run there. Interesting third and goal here. A lot to call if you're Austin. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a scramble, maybe a QB draw, but a lot of options here.
It's going to be, looks like a man defense from the Chippers. Austin in the gun. They'll motion Woodstone out to make it empty. Ronnie, third and goal. End zone. Catch! Yes! Annie Beaverhausen holds on, and Austin gets your first points on the board.
Yeah, and actually, Shairani could have taken off right up the middle and just walked into the end zone, but instead, Beaverhausen running another really crisp route there in the end zone. What a great play. Good hands for Beaverhausen. That is an easy 6, and Lone Stars marching right downfield. It was a short field, but no points are a gimme here in the UFL, so impressive start for the Lone Stars.
Nice double move by Beaverhausen to get herself free and to get the first touchdown on the board. Austin on top 7-0 early on. 1 drive and 8 plays, 49 yards. That'll give him the lead to start things off. Also, I know he's working on it. We got 2 and 7 off the board. There it is. There it is.
Right on cue. Good job.
All right, so go ahead and mark those off, you little addicts. All right, we'll get you some more once they come around. We love you guys playing along. Don't act like we don't love it too. Okay, we're supporting you guys. All right, this is AA for bingo. Okay. Another deep kickoff goes out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So another long way to go. 75 yards for the Chippers, and they went 3 and out on their opening possession. Really just looked out of sorts, and couldn't get anything going.
No, they couldn't, and this is something that we've seen against good teams. I mean, I know they had that week 1 win, but they've struggled since then.
Doug is patient in the pocket, finds his son Tyler. First completion, first down. Take that back, second completion, but it is the first down for the Chippers.
Yeah, first down, and Tyler Falk is just going to get a ton of targets here. Because there really is no weak point in this secondary, so it really doesn't make sense to try to single someone out and attack them. I mean, every defender whether it's Xander Fowler, Malik Torrance, or John Fowler, or Cash Cruz. Doesn't matter. The secondary is stacked, so you might as well just get your best player out in space and see what he can do.
And as you mentioned, I mean, as far as targets go, we'll talk about that after this play as Doug Falk goes opposite field. Good ball there, and looks like a good catch. Get a look at the Austin defense while we have a moment to do that.
Yeah, Realist Triplet, we already called for that sack. Great linebacking core here with Theodore Blackman. And then this secondary, we just got done talking about it. Probably the best in the league. Fowler, Torrance, and Cruz. Just an absolute doomsday defense secondary that has really doomed a lot of their opponents so far this season.
Chase Petroyevich, another great linebacker, still unclaimed in the UFL as Noel will get his first carry. And looks like Mac Walker there to wrap him up. Going to be a 3rd and 4 coming up. Rob Noel has struggled. I mean, exact yards per carry as he had last season in Denver.
Yeah, we thought a change of scenery might do him some good, but after some early flashes of brilliance, he's really slowed down over the past couple of games.
Good blitz pickup. Doesn't matter as Doug Falk floats one into no man's land, no one home, and it's going to be a 4th down. We'll see another Minnesota punt.
That was intended for Michael Joseph, who is really the other strong target that Falk can go to, but that's really tough to see. Doug Falk needed to put that ball right on the money, and that's one of those things that this team is going to be looking back at this tape. If this ends up being a loss, like those are the plays. I mean, if you've got the protection and the time and you don't make that play, that's a real difference maker.
Be a good punt, deep punt, fair catch called for at the 15-yard line. So a little bit of work to do here for the Lone Stars on their second possession of the game. And just quickly to wrap up, I mean, Minnesota, they have some targets, but they're few and far between. I mean, Isaiah Moody is a good target at wide receiver. A.J. Price, the backup tight end, another good skilled tight end. Beyond that, you got Tyler Falk, and that's about it. As Woodstone gets the carry here for Austin, avoiding initial tackles, and will only get one out of the deal.
Well, I think when this team was being constructed, that they really expected Rob Noel and Dalton Brown in that backfield to have more of a place, to have more efficiency, to have more production. And that hasn't happened, and it hasn't opened up those other targets.
Ooh, what a move by Woodstone!
Oh, my God.
Golly. He's busting more ankles than a broken sidewalk out there. What a first down.
Oh, that was just ducking under a clothesline here. Oh my gosh. I mean, that was unbelievable. The shiftiness of Woodstone cannot be overstated. Got a nifty 7 yards there for a first down.
I cannot watch that highlight more. That was absolutely
That was great.
Incredible. And more importantly, a fresh set of downs here for the Lone Stars as they go back to the empty. Shirani, she wants to uncork one. Unleashing the dragon, a step of the defender, and the catch is made inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Annie Beaverhousen, chill, girl, chill.
That is ridiculous. Shirani put this right on the money. Oh my gosh. Annie Beaverton just stood there. Right there, could not have been a more perfect pass. I cannot wait to see this replay. They might take a look at this because it was so close. Yeah, they're going to challenge it.
Is going to challenge it. By the way, credit where credit is due. That was actually Churchill on that catch.
That was, and yes.
It's not exactly a great angle from there.
Maybe we'll get a bit of a better look. I mean.
Oh my God.
That looks like a catch.
He might have just missed it though. I think I saw his second foot, his left foot on the white.
Oh, you might be right.
And it is going to be
overturned.
It
is overturned.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
So second down after all the excitement there. Woodstone up the gut. Gain of about 4 or 5, bringing up third down.
Yeah, Woodstone getting 6 on that play. That's still, I mean, listen, Churchill, that would have been a miraculous catch, but talk about ball placement. It's just a receiver and a quarterback perfectly in sync.
3rd and 4. Shirani wants it deep, and she's got Woodstone this time. Unreal 50-yard reception for Mark Churchill to make up for the challenge.
I mean, and look at how nonchalantly Shirani flings this ball. I mean, 45 yards through the air, Churchill there. The momentum kind of carried him out of bounds. Otherwise, that is an easy walk-in touchdown.
Come on, set.
But boy, Shirani is slinging it.
Speaking of leading the UFL, Churchill leading the league in both receiving yards and touchdowns, and just adding to the riches here as Woodstone gets one.
And this is just the kind of hole that Minnesota really can't dig themselves out of traditionally. So they got to make some stops here.
Woodstone back to the ground. Good pursuit up front there from the front four of the
Good
Chippers.
read.
And that's going to be bringing up 3rd and 9, no gain.
Yeah, good read there by that front line. Really getting back there, making sure that Mike Woodstone did not get past the line of scrimmage.
Ronnie on 3rd and 9. Goes end zone, back in the end zone, catch! Mike Churchill, touchdown!
That is the Mike Churchill drive. Had that just miss and then had a 50-yard bomb. Then gets open in the back of the end zone. Perfect ball. Just outrunning the defender. Another great move. Some great double moves we're seeing from these receivers from Austin. And it is just they're making it look easy right now. Shirani slinging it. These receivers are balling. They're going to look at this, but that looked like a good score to me.
I don't know. The league gave us a full 360 look at that one, and that looks like a touchdown to me.
Yeah, that
Just
looks like a touchdown.
Bit of
But you know what?
formality.
You know what? I'll look at it again. It's a beautiful play.
Yeah, just absolutely unreal. 2 unreal plays there from number 19, Mike Churchill. And the call is going to stand, so Austin taking a 2-score lead pending the extra point. And Damon Webster is able to nail that, making it a 14-0 ball game in favor of the Lone Stars. And Jet, while we have a moment, want to make sure that you get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com. They're stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more, which is a Printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. 2, 7, 17, and 14 now off the board. Looking for horizontal bingos tonight, folks. And as always, your numbers will carry over to our next UFL coast-to-coast game. Miami and Vegas. That'll be with Josh Zirkle and Ramos Lynn. Same bad time, same bad channels. Don't go anywhere. We'll just shift you on over to Sin City once we are wrapped up here in Minneapolis. Another touchback here for the Chippers. Doug Falk in the offense looking a little bit better here in the second possession. Still had to punt the football, and now they find themselves down by 2 possessions.
Yeah, they got to make something happen here, right? Whether that's in the running game or just through the air.
Falk wants to go back to the air, finds an open target. And that was a good ball. I mean, you've seen Doug Falk
really
throw these balls, and Michael Joseph with the toe drag swag.
Yeah, this was a beautiful pass. We want to give Shirani all the credit that she deserves. Doug Falk also needs the credit for that throw. And of course, Michael Joseph there get that toe tap right before falling out of bounds.
Back to the gun here with a fresh set of downs. Falk back to the air, throws. Oh, football got jarred loose. Looked like that could have been called a fumble, but they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
Yeah, Moody, I looked like made a football move and had possession of me, but they called that an incomplete pass.
Bring up 2nd down. Falk, pressure picked up.
Ooh.
Throws a high ball there for Joseph. He's able to reel it in, but it's only for 1. 3rd down.
Yeah, I think maybe they were hoping for something to develop, but the pass was a little bit behind Joseph, so he had to go back.
3rd and 9. Tyler Falk goes in motion. Doug Falk to the air. Good pocket once again. Finds his son Tyler over the middle of the field, and he will make it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Fresh set of downs for Minnesota.
Yeah, it was an interesting look from the Lone Stars defense. I'm a little surprised that they called that defense on 3rd and long. The Falk able to get to a soft spot of that defensive zone, just past the first line of defenders. Doug Falk able to fit it in there before Tyler got too far downfield. That was just a well-timed ball. And a nice conversion now. Now they're moving the ball, and they're now in field goal range, I would say.
A long field goal attempt from here, but luckily they have a fresh set of downs, and they have Rob Noel avoiding tackles and getting a new set of downs inside the red zone to the 18.
And that is the kind of carry that I think the Chippers really expected out of him. I think a change of scenery from Denver. We all expected him to have a bit more production, and he hasn't, but that's the flash of brilliance that we have seen from Noel at times. Let's just see if you could be consistent with it.
Avoids Naylor, avoids Xander Fowler. Eventually gets dragged down after a 10-plus yard gain. Now with about 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Falk under center. He'll go play action to Noel. He's got plenty of time. Retreats. He's in trouble. He's going to go down. Reedless triplet
again.
Second sack.
And it's just too much time. Doug Falk has got to get rid of this ball. He can't let Triplett, who has gotten to the backfield a few times, this is his second sack, and I think his 3rd pressure. And that's on Doug Falk. I mean, it really is. Now they've gotten back so far up. I mean, it's going to be a long field goal attempt if they decide to do it. And that's just a mistake, and that's just not what they need right now from their quarterback. They're going to go for the. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was 3rd down. I'm out of my mind.
This game will do that to you.
I will.
The end of one. Austin up on top over Minnesota, 14-0, as we continue with UFL Coast to Coast action on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside John Warren in the broadcast booth with you tonight. We appreciate your company as always. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ, producing and providing lovely bingo numbers. Rob Noel, good chunk of yards back off of that 12-yard loss on the sack. It'll be 3rd and 12 now.
All right, I'm taking my medication. I know what down it is now. So that was a good run by Noel to earn back 10 yards of that loss that they got. So 3rd and 12, still longer than they want, but they've got a shot here.
Ball from the gun. Stead just wants to check it down, and that's not going to do it. Michael Joseph will make the snag. It's only going to get him 1. So now comes out the field goal unit on 4th and 11. Minnesota looking to add their first points of the game.
Yeah, Brendan Morgan going to attempt a field goal here, a totally makeable distance.
It'll be from 36 yards. And Morgan is able to get the Chippers on the board. So we got 3 and 36 coming your way after that field goal there.
Points are good, but this was a little bit of what the narrative was when I was here a few weeks ago when Minnesota hosted Dakota. They were trading field goals for touchdowns, and when you're the one kicking the field goals, that's not a good exchange rate. And I think Minnesota, they might have to start getting aggressive earlier than they would want to, but they're going against one of the best teams in the league. Maybe the 1A or 1B, depending on whether you think they're better than New York, Austin is. And I think they've got to get more aggressive.
See if they do as the evening goes along. Another touchback, and that'll bring the ball out to the 25-yard line for Austin this time. Good success already as the Lone Stars have found the end zone twice. Churchill starting to come on. Shy Ronnie acting like she has never left the football field, just putting together impeccable drives already here for the Lone Stars. She'll go back to the air. Just a quick little Texas route coming out of the backfield for Woodstone. That'll net them 9. Make it 8, bringing up 2nd down.
But, how nuts is that, though, right? I mean, Mike Woodstone can come out of the backfield, run a fairly crisp route to get open, and it's just one of 5 or 6 targets at any given point, really. that Shirani could go to. Obviously not 6 at a time at once, but I'm just saying on the roster, just a ton of talent here for Shirani to go to on every single play.
So now on 2nd and 2, Woodstone will get yards the conventional way and gets dragged out to midfield. 7 rushes, 32 yards already for Mr. Woodstone.
These moves in space from Woodstone, oh my gosh. He's putting together a highlight tape in this game alone. Oh my gosh, just so shifty with his feet. And he's so good at having his balance when he's making these kind of contortions with his knees, with his torso. Just one of my favorite runners to watch.
He is typically a one-cut back, but man, does he have the speed and the ankle-breaking ability, and we've seen that already on display. Good blitz pick up there from Woodstone, and that allows Ronnie to complete the pass. And that'll be a completion to a new target. Now take that back. Mika Friday gets her 2nd catch tonight.
Yeah, 6'8", 275. Mika Friday, one of the biggest tight ends in football. And good catch there from her. And also, I want to give my flowers once again to Mike Woodstone. Just talked about him catching passes, running the ball, making people miss, picking up a block there so effectively, cutting the legs out of a defender who was rushing the passer. Bought Shirani enough time to make that throw. Great synergy.
Just like that, they're at the 30-yard line of Minnesota. 1st and 10. Ronnie over the middle, catch. And that is to right way for a gain of 7.
Yeah, Nico right way. Sometimes the odd man out in discussions about this wide receiver room, but very, very, very speedy, very talented, and also a big-bodied wide receiver.
Blitz coming. Ronnie gets rid of it quickly, finds the targets, and that's another catch. That's Annie Beaverhausen, I believe. No, that was Churchill. No, it was Beaverhausen. I'll eventually get it right. 18 and 19, just blurring
They
together.
look alike. They do, absolutely.
1st and 10, Woodstone back to the ground. Minnesota bottles it up nicely that time, only a couple yards.
Yeah, and, this Minnesota defense, they've got to, it's hard to pick your poison, right? I mean, Woodstone just kind of killing you on these chunk plays on the ground. Shirani could just pick you apart through the air. It's hard to defend.
Woodstone going off tackle from the gun. And once again, Minnesota ready for that. 2 run plays, only netting 2 yards. Now a 3rd and 8. This is a crucial 3rd down here for the Chippers defense.
Yeah, it's massive. Chippers really need to hold them here to a field goal attempt.
Ronnie empty set. She wants to go end zone, finds a target, and it's another touchdown. Annie Beaverhausen with touchdown number 2.
Beaverhausen ran that double move that first time. This is just a lot simpler. Just makes a cut inside, across all defenders. Just gets open in that soft spot, and Shirani puts it on her perfectly. This is starting to look like the game we might have expected in our private conversations before the game started. But hey, it's always fun to watch a team as good as Austin play. Oof.
Extra point is up and good. Beaverhausen with more touchdowns in this half than Minnesota has had the last 3 weeks. And that is just a killer for the Chippers faithful. Also, came into this contest only 1 receiving touchdown all season for herself. So now she's just doubling up and tripling up.
Yeah, Beaverhausen has really given a lot of that that red zone and touchdown playmaking over to Mike Churchill. Mike Churchill's been just so dominant in that space. Beaverhausen today really showing up and showing why she is such an effective target in the red zone. That route running is deadly in those tight spaces.
That will get a return on the kickoff, and that'll come out to the 30-yard line. So decent starting field position here for the Chippers off of the return. I'm curious Absolutely, they need a touchdown. Absolutely, they do. I was more curious about where Josh Zirkle got his April's Austin Awareness Month from. I'm a little curious about that one. Doug Falk to the air on first down. Throw is going to be complete to Tyler, and he's able to get out across the 40-yard line to the 41. Press set it out.
Tyler Falk, I think that's his fifth target maybe. He's going to get a lot more of those. He's been the bright spot here for Minnesota.
Empty set for Doug Falk this time. Pressure coming in his face. He's got to get rid of the ball. We talked about this.
Get rid of the ball. There we go.
Eventually checks it down and finds a target. That's going to be Tyler once more. 9 of 12 for 80 yards, but man, he's got to get rid of it quicker.
That clock in his head it's ticking, but it's not triggering anything. It's like a broken notification or something. He's got to get rid of this ball faster.
2nd and 8. Noel on the ground trying to find a little bit of space, and he'll work his way free for a couple of yards to make it 3rd and 5 for Minnesota.
Is Kelly Lattimore there falling on top of Noel? Huge player. Well, not able to escape.
3rd and 5 for Doug. Falk throws, finds his target, slipping defenders and getting the first down. What a move
that's Dalton
there.
Brown's. Yeah, I think that's Dalton Brown's first touch of the game. Could not have come at a better time. Excuse me, that was the second catch of the game. He caught one earlier on a check down. But Dalton Brown there makes a miss. Broke that tackle too. So nice play for Dalton Brown to make that conversion. Keep these sticks moving. Give Minnesota a little glimmer of hope here.
Curtis Fitzgerald in coverage there. Missed the initial play to get the interception and then comes back to make the tackle. Minnesota working their way into Austin territory. Falk throws incomplete.
Good defense.
Great coverage there. And we talked about the secondary here for Austin. Xander Fowler able to break that one up.
Yeah, Xander Fowler is just one of the best corners. One of the other best corners is across from Malik Torrance. Both of these guys were just brutal in coverage.
Noel getting back to the line of scrimmage, making it a 3rd and 10. I mean, it's like a law firm back there. You got Fowler, Cruz.
Fowler, Cruz, and Torrance. The Texas Hammers.
3rd and 10. Falk has to get rid of it. He's going to try and take off and run. Not exactly fleet of foot, but he's able to get close to the line to gain. It's going to bring up a 4th and 2. We'll see how aggressive Minnesota wants to be or if they want to kick a long field goal attempt.
I didn't hate the instinct, actually. I mean, once he tucked, I was like, oh, my gosh. But able to break get out of the line of scrimmage and make something happen here. It might still be a long field goal attempt, but at least it's something. I think I'd rather see this than Doug Falk just stand back there and wait for something to materialize.
And they are indeed going to go for it on 4th and 2 from the 28 of Austin. They'll run a play. Play action. Good blitz pickup from Noel. Flag on the play. Throws and almost intercepted. We'll see what the flag's all about. And it is an ineligible
downfield. This is going to be a turnover on downs. Zach Graham, not sure what he was thinking. That was a straightforward play there. Needed to stay on the line of scrimmage. And that is a terrible end to a promising drive.
Now Austin will go back to work with 3:02 to go, running the 4-minute offense. Ronnie to the air. Quickly fires, hits her target. Only a couple of yards on that play, bringing up 2nd down.
Big hit put on by Ricky Brosius, the tight end there. That's not a name we call very often, but made the catch there for the Lone Stars for 2 yards.
Next, UFL Coast to Coast to Miami and Vegas as Ronnie wants to uncork one. That's another touchdown.
That's Beaverhousen again.
Who? Number 3 for Beaverhousen, 70 yards to the hizzy.
Well, Eric, what do you want to do in the second half? You want to go get some barbecue or something, we could watch it on the. We could do commentary from the car. I think.
You know, we're close enough to Canada. I hear there's some good poutine floating around in the concession stands.
I would crush some poutine right now. Beaverhousen making this game look easy for her. She is just making these defenders look silly, and Shirani is just. I'm not sure I've seen a quarterback as locked in as Shirani so far this season.
I can't even tell you fine folks about the next UFL Coast to Coast game coming up following this one without Austin just popping off Andy Beaverhousen to boot. 2 plays, 72 yards, less than a minute. Just absolutely freaking unreal. But anyway, as I was saying, UFL Coast to Coast coming up directly following this game around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Miami Pirates, Vegas Devils from Sin City. You'll see, well, you won't see, but you'll hear Josh Circle and Ramos Lynn on the call from Vegas. 2:20 to go here, John. Let's see what Minnesota has up their sleeve.
Let's see what Minnesota's got up their sleeve. I hope it's not more going for field goals. I hope it's not more ineligible receiver downfields causing turnovers on downs. Let's get something together here, Chippers. You're in front of your home crowd. You've had a tough schedule so far this season, but let's make something happen here.
Kick return coming out of the end zone, out across the 25 to the 27. That's Morgan with the return. And 2:17 to go. All 3 timeouts for the Chippers. Doug Falk has had, he's had a pretty efficient night, just they haven't gotten to the finish line. Falk wants to pump it, then almost throws an interception there. Xander Fowler in coverage once more, almost came up with the pick.
Yeah, he's been fine. He's held on the ball too long, but he's mostly been accurate. He's mostly made good decisions once he's let go of the football. So I agree. There's some bright spots here.
Play action once more. Good blitz pick up from Noel. Throw, catch, and inside the 45 to the 46, Michael Joseph.
That was a great play, a great blitz pickup by Noel.
That extends the play, allows Doug Falk to find Michael Joseph as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Minnesota. Austin up big, but Minnesota looking to respond as you're watching UFL Coast to Coast on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside John Warren in the broadcast booth with UFL co-founder Commissioner Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. 1st and 10 off of that big play, and Doug almost threw an interception there. Cash Cruz on coverage.
Did. That's you don't want to be testing Cash Cruz. It's just not very smart. One of the better zone defenders in football.
On 2nd and 10, another lofter, and man, Michael Joseph has been catching everything that comes his way. He just hasn't gotten a whole lot of net yards.
Yeah, these checkdowns are not moving the needle, so to speak.
3rd and 6. Falk retreating, trying to find anything
Lots
open.
of time again. There he with a strip sack.
Oh,
that was
goodness.
Superset.
Yeah, Max Superset getting in there with the strip sack. Minnesota able to cover it up, but man, oh man, Minnesota is just killing themselves right now.
This is tough to watch. I mean, Austin is so good in every facet of the game, but that's on Minnesota. That's on Doug Falk. That's on this line. I mean, this is just too much time. If you give great defenders in the UFL enough time, they are going to breach that line. It is just a matter of time. It's like the football players are too good. This is not rocket science. Doug Falk needs to get rid of this ball, and he's not. And this is not great. And Austin now has an opportunity to maybe put even more points on the board before the end of the half.
Lone Stars will have all 3 timeouts, under a minute to work with, and a good punt from Minnesota, dragged down at the 13-yard line, so they will have 87 yards to go to hit the paint. But Shirani, she really hasn't had any troubles here tonight, as we'll just roll the human highlight reel that is the Austin quarterback. And, hey, we'll include some Andy Beaverhousen highlights as well, because she's had 3 touchdown grabs.
Yeah, Beaverhousen and Churchill have combined for 4 touchdowns and just a million yards. We'll see how aggressive they are with this play calling here.
Ronnie from the gun wants to check it down, finds Woodstone. Good tackle there on the back end for Minnesota, only a 4-yard gain. And naturally, Austin in no hurry to really get anything going. 251 yards in the first half for Shai Ronnie.
Yeah, 251 yards in the first half and 4 touchdowns in the first half is just a ridiculous stat. You would be ecstatic with that line for a full game, and Shai Ronnie just making it look easy. Like you said, they're in no hurry to get to the line here.
We'll run the play clock down, little screen play, set it up to Woodstone, avoids initial contact. He does get out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock at 12 seconds. Austin will have to run one more play.
A stopped clock with 12 seconds left is kind of delicious. I think they're just going to turn this, I think they're just going to hand this off to Woodstone and go into the half.
It's going to be a Woodstone carry, but oh man, talk about a forearm shiver coming around the tackle there. Randy Tremaine able to lay the wood, and that is going to bring us to the end of half number 1. Ooh,
you don't really want to get your running back to take those hits unnecessarily like that, but still.
Great balls of fire. That was a full-blown punch. I mean, I talked about a forearm shiver. That was a full-blown punch. And, man, the Minnesota faithful are feeling it right now. They're ready to punch a wall as they are down big to the Austin Lone Stars, 28-3 at the end of half number 1. John Warren, talk to me, Goose. What's going on?
There is not a lot to say other than Austin looks like one of the best teams in the league, and Minnesota looks like they might be one of the lower-tier teams. I thought they might be able to come in here and defend their home turf a little bit better, but Austin looking every bit the powerhouse that they've looked like all season. Shai Ronnie really is one of my MVP candidates early in the season. We'll see if Minnesota can put anything together in the second half, but Austin's going to get this ball first, so it could get even darker here for these Minnesota fans.
Defense is going to have to come out and play ball to start things off for the Chippers and the Lone Stars. Man, it has just been everything they could have wanted and more. And I mean, what more can you say at this point as the Lone Stars are up 28-3 as we get the second half going. And it's going to be another deep kickoff and another touchback here for the Lone Stars. We talked about Andy Beaverhousen. We talked about Mike Churchill. Andy is the third receiver with 3 touchdowns or more this season. That includes Churchill and Mia Pangori. Churchill, he had 4 against Chicago in week number 1.
You think Beaverhousen is going to try to break that today?
Oh, she's eager. She's eager. Ronnie going to start off with a handoff to Mike Woodstone. And 11 carries for 36 yards, but he certainly has not been the bell cow tonight.
No. Shai Ronnie's just really been able to pick this defense apart. But they may get a little more conservative here to serve their strength.
Ronnie throws a little bit of a crosser and finds the tight end. That is Micah Friday with another catch, and it's going to be another first down for Austin.
Yeah, that's another first down, and Minnesota have an opportunity to get them off the field, but couldn't make it happen.
Ronnie back to the air. Another check down. Again to Friday, and it's going to be 5 yards, bringing up second down.
Shai Ronnie's just flexing on this team, saying, hey, I could beat you deep, and I can also pick you apart in the short passing game as well.
Finds Micah Friday again. This time, tackle made shy of the line to gain. And it's now going to be a 3rd and 3 coming up here.
A big third down here. Let's see if Minnesota can get their defense off the field.
4 wide, 3rd and 3. Ronnie passing again. Finds an open target. And another first down near midfield, and it is Beaverhausen once more. Look at that stat line, 6 for 120 and 3 tutties.
6 catches, half of them for touchdowns, and all of them showcasing her trademark route running, just so crisp, making defenders look a little bit foolish. And boy, how lucky is Shirani to have these targets?
Play action. Ronnie throws another open crosser as they get deeper into Minnesota territory. Set up shop at the 30-yard line with another fresh set of downs. It's Nico Rightway, somehow with only 2 catches tonight.
Listen, Churchill and Beaverhousen have been very busy. Rightway, like I said, sometimes the odd man out of these conversations. I mean, they've got Mika Friday, they've got Mike Woodstone. It's just a lot of players, even outside Andy Beaverhausen and Mike Churchill, that can make things happen. Rightway sometimes gets left out of that conversation, but still a very, very talented receiver.
Four wide from the gun. Woodstone gets the carry. He'll pick up a couple of yards. Actually, no, he'll get stopped at the line of scrimmage. So a rare no gain for Woodstone, bringing up second down.
It is rare second and long coming up.
Woodstone.
Whoop.
Ooh, Minnesota read that one like a book. Getting in there, making the stop is Randy Tremaine.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a true option or just a design draw, but it was not a good choice either way. Minnesota really read that, and now it sets up a very interesting third and long. Tremaine there, great wrap-up tackle.
Traylon Baltimore, the fullback, just absolutely whiffed on that play, setting up that TFL. 3rd and 12. Ronnie throws, catch is made. First down once more for Austin. Mika Friday with another grab.
Mika Friday is so good in traffic because she can just get that big body right in front of everyone else. And boy, hold on to it when she knew she was going to get absolutely smacked by Randy Tremaine there in the middle of the field. Everyone for Austin is getting involved in this offense's success, and that is truly an ingredient for long-term success. We've seen it year after year. Just so good.
Ronnie on first down wants to go end zone. Airmails that one. Intended for Rightway. That's going to bring up second down. You're absolutely right. Austin has just, Shy Ronnie has been impeccable with getting every single weapon that she has involved in this offense. They have all been eating tonight. 2nd and 10, Woodstone with the carry up the gut and back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a couple of yards, bring it up 3rd and 8.
Chat thinking that Austin is going to win the matchup next week against New York, and that huge matchup that I am very, very excited about.
That'll be a juicy one. Ronnie wants to set up the screen. Woodstone has good blocks. He gets the first down and more. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Lone Stars.
I like the way that screen was shaping up for the moment it started. Just kind of a jailbreak. You knew they were going to get that blocking downfield because they were Minnesota was just so off balance. Woodstone able to get so much space there. Easy money for the touchdown. Look at the pylon cam here. I think he got in. Yeah, he definitely got in before. Yeah. Easy. What a team this is.
5 drives and 5 touchdowns. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And they have done it in a variety of ways.
No.
You know, the big play ball, moving down the field methodically and capping it off. I mean, everyone has just gotten involved tonight as Webster adds the extra point to make it 35-3 here in the Twin Cities. And we talked about it, chat. Next week on UFL Coast to Coast, Austin and New York. The last 2 unbeaten teams in the UFL will meet to decide who is 2026's darling, followed by surging Wichita at Phoenix. Monday in primetime, the St. Louis Rivermen will meet San Diego. they're desperate to get the recent overtime loss out of their mouths. That's next time in the UFL Spotlight.
Yeah, good games next week. I mean, this has just been such a fun UFL season so far. I've enjoyed every game.
You really can't get enough of UFL football. As another return for Morgan will bring it out to the 27-yard line. Doug Falk coming back out, trying to get this offense going. And really, he's been holding on to the ball too long. We've talked about that. That has led to some sacks that has really put them outside of field goal range and outside of scoring range.
Yeah, it really puts them in a hole, and it does a disservice to the rest of the team, because now that they get in these bad situations, it really limits what they can do with their play calling. It's a very one-dimensional.
Carry for Noel, trying to find a little bit of space, and he will get a yard for his troubles, bringing up 2nd and 9.
You know, Austin coming into this week, the only team that is averaging over 30 yards a game in scoring, and they're going to make that, they're going to extend that streak. And this offense is just one of the best I've seen in quite some time.
Another carry for Noel. It will bring up 3rd and 4. And, I mean, they've got stars all over the map here with Austin. I mean, just an embarrassment of riches as Falk goes 7-step drop, finds open target Michael Joseph in the middle of the field, and that is going to be a 1st down. And to continue my point, I mean, even on the defensive end, you know, we talked about the secondary, but Theodore Blackman, the middle linebacker, I mean, he is just an absolute animal, leading the league in tackles. Brandon Allen for Minnesota also on that list at number 3.
And again, Brandon Allen, a great player, an unclaimed player, who is just having a wonderful season, but it just hasn't translated to success.
And a very good point. Brandon Allen is unclaimed as of right now. We talked about how Minnesota needs more plays, needs more playmaking threats, and they got one right there. What a catch. 30 yards.
Really good. Really nice grab there from LeBreece Rowland. Oof. That's a good play. You know, we just called his name a couple minutes ago, Michael Joseph. He doesn't like losing. He's a competitive player at tight end. He wants to be an effective part of this offense. I think he's playing a little angry right now. Let's see if Minnesota can actually put a touchdown up.
Falk on 1st down. Throws complete. Finds the same target on back-to-back plays. LeBreece Rowland also unclaimed here in this Minnesota offense.
And to a point you made earlier, as much as I've given Doug Falk some guff for holding on to the ball too long, he has been very efficient tonight.
Carry up the middle for backup running back Dalton Brown as he gets his first carry of the game, and he will bring it out for a fresh set of downs into, over to the 12-yard line.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Back to the ground game, this time with Noel as he gets bottled up in the middle of that defense. And, man, we have talked about triplets so much tonight.
Yeah, Triplet and Superset both have had, alternating great plays there in the middle of the field. The middle of this line.
And
ooh, that's going to be a face mask.
Yep, that is indeed going to be a face mask, and that's on me because, of course, I talked about Chase Petrovic quite a bit, and now he goes and gets a silly face mask.
It's not a great play from Petrovic. He knows better than that, especially to give Minnesota a fresh set of downs here. It's 1st and goal at 6.
High formation. Noel trying to follow some blocks, and I think we got another face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
Whew, this time Mac Waller the guilty party on that one. Another 1st and goal, this time from the 3.
This is not smart football for Austin. I know having a 32-point cushion feels pretty good, but
let's go now.
Definitely don't need to give Minnesota some opportunities here.
Formation, Noel. Hey, no
Ooh.
face mask on that one. But, man, good tackle by Deron Anderson.
Ron Anderson just giving a big shush to Noel in this offense. Thought they had something cooking there, but no way. Untouched. Able to put Noel on his butt.
Comes off the edge, just grabs him by the chest and slings him around. Man, that is strength right there. Second to go from the 4. Noel wants the end zone, wants pay dirt, and surges forward to the 1. 3rd and goal.
He wanted that so bad. You could see it, but Austin able to wrap him up. But here we go. 3rd and goal. It's at the 1 yard line. Really looks like the half-yard line to me.
Heavy set, pitch play. Dalton Brown gets the edge. Touchdown Chippers. First touchdown on the board for Minnesota.
Oh, able to walk in. That was just a great play call here. Dalton Brown able to do the rest. Well, not sure if we have a football game yet, but we've got a tutty on the board for Minnesota, which is more than I thought we might have. So I am happy to see some life here. And this Chippers crowd has come alive just a little bit.
I'm just happy they have a little something to celebrate here. The remaining folks that are left, as Minnesota makes it a 35-10 ball game with 1:12 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And again, Chad, we know following the UFL action every weekend, it can be very daunting. The best place you can catch anything you missed is UFL Highlights every week on VFN, giving each and every game the highlight recap you deserve. Catch the UFL Highlights on the Virtual Football Network. And John, you touched on it. I mean, I'm not sure I can say we have a game yet, but, you know, Minnesota makes it a little bit more interesting at least. You know, multiple possession game.
Hey,
the defense comes out and gets a stop here.
Minnesota at least went shopping for the ingredients to make this a game, and I'm okay with that. That's a start. They're at the store. They're looking at the shelves. They may pick some stuff out. We might have something brewing here. But Austin's got a say in that matter, and if they are as hot as they have been the past drives that they have had, may not matter. But here we go. Let's see what Minnesota can do on defense after that score.
I will say that there is nothing worse than shopping for bad produce, and that seems to be what Minnesota has gotten here this evening. But that's a good play there, and that's a tackle for loss. And, hey, it's Mr. Wonderful right there. Brennan Allen, unclaimed linebacker for this Minnesota Chippers defense.
Yeah, Brennan Allen, we talked about him earlier, a really, really great tackler. And just, I think, really the brain of this defense, able to really spot a lot of what is going on. The problem for Allen is that there's just so much to cover here playing against Austin.
Especially from his middle linebacker spot. Woodstone off tackle run, tries to throw a juke move down, and we'll get maybe a half a yard extra for the deal, bringing up 3rd and 4.
Set 50, plant. Check, watch 54, watch 54. Don't get nervous. Alert, flare, alert. Ready.
3rd down for Shirani. Oh, deflection at the line. Minnesota finally with a little bit of pressure as Frank Castle gets in there and knocks the ball away. We've got ourselves a Chipper stop.
Okay, Minnesota. Swatting that down at the line. We have not seen that kind of pressure really on Shirani since very early in the 1st quarter. And Austin's going to have to punt this away.
First possession of the evening that Austin has not scored on. As we get a punt, a fair catch to close out the 3rd quarter of play. Get your boards up in the chat. We got one more to go here from the Twin Cities with the Chippers trailing the Lone Stars 35-10. This is UFL Coast to Coast on VFN. Eric Vincent and John Warren with you in the broadcast booth. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. Minnesota gets a stop on defense. Doug Falk and the offense take over, and they will start with a 1-yard catch.
They don't have a lot of time, right? 25 points, got 12 minutes left. 4's up in the chat.
90 is a mic.
But
I'm gonna run
hey,
this
stranger things have happened here in the UFL.
No huddle offense here for the Chippers as Falk finds Noel coming out of the backfield. Minimal gain. Going to bring up a 3rd and 5. They're probably going to continue to run this no huddle offense, trying to get some points on the board as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they gotta make something happen here fast. Down by 4 scores.
Falk on 3rd down. Good clean pocket, takes off and runs with it. He's going to get the first down and more,
Good
trying to direct
call.
blockers, and he's going to get out across midfield in Austin territory.
That was an outstanding play. Xander Fowler probably could have been a little bit more aggressive on that pursuit. Could have saved a first down there, but a really good decision there by Doug Falk.
27 yards on the ground for Doug Falk. Goes back to the air, and a little too much mustard on that one. Incomplete pass. Brings up 2nd and 10, and they will go back to the huddle.
And when we see Doug Falk be inaccurate, it is usually leading the receiver too much, going a little too fast with that ball. He likes to put zip on those footballs. He's got a strong arm, but sometimes it works against him.
Noel will motion out of the backfield. Doug Falk in the empty gun, throws, finds Tyler, and Tyler drops the ball. Bring it up 3rd
Yeah,
and
drops
long.
it. Looking like a pinball machine there, just getting knocked around right in the middle of the field. That would have been a tough catch to come up with, and Tyler Falk did not manage to hold on to it.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
3rd and long, gotta have it for Minnesota. Doug Falk throws an interception, and that one has pick 6 written all over it. No doubt about it. Oh, Dalton Brown making the touchdown saving grab. Absolutely wild as Easton Roberts gets the grab and Dalton Brown chases him down.
Easton Roberts, the dime back here. I mean, not a name we call very often. We call Torrance and Fowler a lot more, but on a surefire passing down, we knew this was going to go out to a receiver, and there Easton Roberts was to make that play. Not quite fast enough to score that touchdown, but good instincts to just get in front of that ball, jump that route. Hawkins didn't really see it coming either. Couldn't do much to defend against it. We'll see how aggressive Austin is here, but that is a backbreaker there for the Minnesota Chippers.
Especially after having a nice, productive drive, working the ball down the field into Austin territory, and then our first turnover of the game ends up being a huge interception and return for the Lone Stars as Ronnie going to go play action.
My goodness.
And we get a sack from Boyd. 1 sack, 3 tackles tonight.
Champ Boyd has been pretty busy today, and on that play action, I'm not sure Shirani expected to see a Minnesota Chipper defender in her face the second she turned around, but that's exactly what happened. Great play there by Boyd. Austin may want to clamp this down, not get too cute with their play calling here. Maybe just kind of run some clock out, go for a field goal, but 2nd goal now from the 16.
We talked about UFL Coast to Coast coming up next week against New York for Austin. They also have Dallas and Miami coming up in their next slate of games as couldn't quite get the snap off, and that'll be another 5 yards that Austin is backing up. This is the most dysfunctional we've seen the Lone Stars look on offense all game long.
Yeah, it has, and honestly, the second half has been a little bit sloppy. They had those penalties on defense that bought the Chippers the downs and yardage they needed to eventually score that touchdown. So this is an interesting development here.
2nd goal from the 21 now. Shirani throws, grabbed by Nico Rightway inside the 10 to the 6, bringing up a 3rd and manageable goal to go from the 6.
If you can really pinpoint a weakness in Austin's game, it has been penalties. I mean, they have been a penalized team. They had 7 penalties coming into this game, and now they've got 3 or 4 here today. I think it's 4 actually that were fairly destructive to what they were trying to accomplish here. Obviously not in the aggregate, but certainly moment to moment.
3rd and goal. Woodstone with the carry, off tackle. Minnesota gonna get the stop, and that was key right there. Can't allow another touchdown here, but they're gonna force a field goal attempt.
No, if you keep this to a 4-score game, I mean, this is still something that Minnesota might be able to overcome. But if this had turned into a 5-score game, we could just go ahead and pack this in. Good stop there by the Chippers.
Brendan Allen in once more on the stop, along with Watts. And that will bring up a chip shot 23-yard field goal for the Lone Stars, which is up and good. So now here are your updated bingo numbers, my lovely little addicts. Hopefully we're getting some horizontal bingos. A lot of numbers here tonight. Be sure to thank the Lone Stars. They've been giving you all the juice here tonight. Minnesota chipping in a little bit, you know, a couple of field goal, touchdown, some awkward numbers there off the board. We like it. 38-10 though, 4-score game. Let's see what Minnesota can really cook up with 9 minutes to go here. Like I said, it was a very productive drive up until the point where Doug Falk made the mistake. And, man, the only mistake of the night we've seen from either of these teams, and it was a big one.
It was a big one, and I want to real quick, about to see him kick off for the Lone Stars here. Damon Webster, unclaimed kicker, has now had 9 of 9 from field goals this season, and 25 of 25 for PATs. So perfect on the season so far as the Austin kicker. They have really not needed him necessarily, but still pretty automatic. So unclaimed kicker Damon Webster just kicked off and got a touchback there.
Hey, kickers are people too.
They are. Don't you forget it.
1st and 10 for the Chippers from the 25. Doug Falk back to work. Pressure coming, gets rid of that one. Bit of an awkward throw, but able to find Dalton Brown for a couple of yards.
It was an awkward throw. Dalton Brown, I think, is if we're going to give an MVP ball maybe to Minnesota, we may be giving it to Dalton Brown. Not sure anyone deserves it, but he's had a pretty good game.
Falk running the no huddle, airs it out, finds
nice.
Tyler. Great slip of the defender there, and he will sneak into Austin territory off that 27-yard catch.
Yeah, good play there. We just saw his line too, 80 yards on the day. He is, I mean, just truly Minnesota's best offensive player. The problem is that this defense is just so good. Fowler there missing the tackle. Falk just making a miss.
242 yards receiving for Tyler Falk coming into this game, still without a touchdown grab. As Doug Falk will check it down to Dalton Brown, and that is going to be a gain of 4. No, excuse me, Isaiah Moody with his first catch.
Yeah. A few targets for Isaiah Moody, but that's his first catch, first grab of the night.
Falk back to the air on 2nd and 6. Throws, finds Tyler. He will get the first down and keep the drive alive.
You know, thanks to the stats truck, I didn't have this in front of me. Webster, we just mentioned the Austin Lone Stars kicker, has 52 points now in the season. Minnesota has 74 as a team.
Oof, man. And that one was the equivalent of a hospital ball. I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely no shot at bringing that
No
one
shot.
in. LaBreece Rowland, unfortunately, unable to hang on, bringing up 2nd and 10. Falk once more on 2nd and 10. Checks it down, finds Michael Joseph streaking across the middle of the field. That'll set up a 3rd and 3. Once again, coming up, UFL Coast to Coast, Miami and Vegas from Sin City. Josh Zirkle, Ramos Lynn on the call. That'll be coming up around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, directly following the conclusion of this contest, as Doug Falk extends the drive, gets another first down.
Yeah, another LaBreece Rowland catch there. 4 catches on the day. This one right there on the sideline to get the first down, move the sticks.
Yo, Rocky, come on.
Back to the no huddle with about 7.5 to go. Falk takes the snap on first down. Good blocking. And now
Out of
Doug
time
wants to
here.
take off and
Ooh,
run.
boy.
He's got nowhere to go. Waller able to drag him down for his first sack of the evening. 4 sacks for the Lone Stars tonight.
Mac Waller just able to just brush Doug Falk enough, pull him down.
8-yard loss, second down. Falk, nothing downfield. Just wants to check it down to Rensford Morgan. And it's no gain. Gonna be third down and long.
Hurry! 90 is the mic. On the ball.
Looks like a blitz coming for the Lone Stars. They'll send it. Falk again checking it down to Michael Joseph. Got to be 3 yards. And it's now 4th and 15.
And I don't really get what the point is. I mean, that they should just be going deep at this point, just putting some stuff up there to see if they can make this a game. Catch Austin maybe off guard and say, okay, now we've got some surprise points on them. Maybe we can make something happen. But they're going to go for a field goal here. Ugh, brutal.
Brennan Morgan got to go ahead and line up for this one. This one from 40 yards. And he is able to knock it through to make it a 38-13 game. And I'm 100% with you here, John. I mean, go ahead and play your hearts out and see how many touchdowns you can get. But, man, settling for the field goal, the optics are not good on that one.
No, that is, you never want to wave the white flag quite that clearly in front of your home crowd. I feel for you, Chippers fans. I really do.
There you go. We get confirmation from UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. After they're down 24 points in the fourth quarter, it's essentially a give-up mentality in the code of the game. So that is why Minnesota just going for what they can, which is a field goal there. 2 more numbers, 40 and 13 off the board. A lot of numbers in this one. Horizontal is the winning card tonight. And once again, as a reminder, all those numbers will carry over to our next UFL Coast to Coast action coming up here in approximately 10 minutes. 6 minutes, 16 seconds of game time.
We have just about enough bingo numbers for 2 games, and we've still got one to go. So it's very exciting.
I agree with that. Woodstone with the carry. And he's going to surge up the middle for a few yards, make it 6, make it 2nd and 4. And for these Chippers, man, it doesn't get any easier. They got the Dallas Talons coming into town at home, then taking on Vegas in Sin City, a possible winnable game there before taking on the talented Salt Lake Hornets. Salt Lake, another team where, with how talented they looked last season, and how they've looked this season, it's kind of been night and day. So a couple winnable games on the back end of the upcoming 3 games, but man, taking on the Talons, that is going to be a tough ask even at home.
Yeah, Talons have gotten hot over the past couple weeks. They're looking a lot more like the team that was in the championship game last season, and that's going to be a tough one for this Minnesota Chippers team.
Going back to the ground. Austin trying to chew some clock here as we get underneath 5 minutes to go from the Twin Cities. And, man, if you're Minnesota, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. What do you really adjust offensively, defensively to really get themselves back in the season?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I think there is something to be said about looking at your scheme on offense and saying, okay, we have these 2 very talented, on paper at least, running backs that we have and we've invested in. Let's get them more involved in the game. Let's make it a little bit less one-dimensional. We've got 1 tight end. We've got 1 receiver that really do a lot of our work. If there's a way to spread things out a little bit more, make that run game effective, it could turn this offense into something that is not so anemic and predictable. But the problem is that UFL teams also have defenses, and there are a lot of really good defenses, especially ones that Minnesota is going to play the rest of the year, that are pretty good at making a team one-dimensional. And it really just might come down to talent, saying, oh, man, we might have to reload and think about this again next season. Think about ways to give Doug Falk some help here.
Well,
I know that's
to
not a
that point,
satisfying answer, but sometimes it do be like that.
it do be like that, especially in this league. But to your point, it is never too late to get involved. I mean, there are plenty of
True.
spots open on this Minnesota offense and defense. Guys that we talked about. I mean, the linebacker that I'm blanking on his name right now. I don't know why, because we talked about him so often.
Randy Tremaine. It's Brennan Allen. I mean, there's a lot of great players. Yeah.
Yeah, just a ton of great players that are just ready to be claimed. We talked about Isaiah Moody. We talked about A.J. Price. Both of them are unclaimed. It might be one of those things where, Minnesota going to have to go on the recruiting trail and see if they can get some guys in here to go ahead and help bolster their squad. Because right now, you're absolutely right. There's just not enough talent across the board to compete with teams like Austin, who just have key pieces at legitimately every position across the board.
Yeah.
One more play before the 2-minute warning here. It's going to be a stop on a Woodstone carry as we hit 2 minutes to go here from Minnesota. Austin looking to close this one out, up big by 25 over the Minnesota Chippers as we look to conclude our coverage of the UFL Coast to Coast from Minnesota. Eric Vincent, John Warren here in the broadcast booth with you tonight. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. Woodstone, another carry, another TFL as Minnesota pretty keyed in on, hey, it's going to be running the football and a lot of clock running at this point.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier when you know what they're going to run. But this has just been a real, I don't know, a confirmation of most of what I think everyone was seeing the past 4 weeks with the Austin Lone Stars. I don't think your eyes were deceiving you. This is, I believe, the best team in the UFL. We're going to really test that theory next week against New York, the only other unbeaten team. Holding on to it way too long.
I was about to say the same thing. We're able to have a nice, casual, cool conversation the entire time that Shy Ronnie is in the pocket. Eventually, time ran out, and Randy Tremaine gets a sack to his resume tonight.
I could have filed next year's taxes during that drop back, so that's not what you want to see, but totally inconsequential. You don't want to see your quarterback take a Tremaine sack under the 2-minute warning. You just don't want to see that, but it's not going to be a big deal. Well, they're going to go for a field goal here.
Might as well. I mean, it's going to be a beefy one here, 56. And that kick is a knuckler, and it is no good. It looks like it was pushed off to the right. So there you go. First missed field goal.
First missed
for Webster.
Damon Webster. I talked a big game about Damon Webster. They decided to march him out there when it didn't matter at all and have him just knuckle this thing and give Minnesota good field position. Too little too late, obviously, but he'll be kicking himself quite literally after this game.
Fair, that wasn't a gimme field goal. I mean, for 56.
Wasn't a gimme, but
that would have been impressive.
Yeah, it would have been. Now he's got that blemish. We can't say he's perfect anymore.
Oh no. John Warren, just ever the critic.
I'm tough.
Doug Falk gonna find Tyler Falk over the middle, and we might have time for one more play here from Minnesota as the Chippers just look to get one more play in. I don't think they're going to get it off, and they won't. Austin, complete domination on the road against the Chippers. 38-13, the final score. Austin remains undefeated, 5-0. They will take on undefeated New York next week in UFL Coast to Coast. You don't want to miss that. John Warren, your final thoughts, my friend.
Well, I think Shy Ronnie is maybe the best player in football right now. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. Had an absolutely ridiculous game today with 5 touchdowns through the air. Looking poised, looking confident. Why shouldn't she? She's got all the weapons in the world. Austin is exactly who we thought they were. Minnesota, unfortunately, is also maybe exactly who we thought they were. A team struggling for answers. We'll see if they can put something together over the next few weeks. But I am looking forward to seeing how the rest of the Lone Star season shapes up. I love watching that team play, and boy, they were dominant here tonight.
Just a fun little factoid before we send you out to our next UFL Coast to Coast game. Shai Ronnie now 17 touchdowns to 1 interception. She and Karen Koizumi are the only quarterbacks with 1 interception. Koizumi has thrown almost 100 times less than Ronnie has. Ooh, absolutely unbelievable. Well, on behalf of my broadcast partner, John Moran, UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine, back to BFN HQ. My name is Eric Vincent. We want to thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the UFL Coast to Coast on BFN. Be sure to check out our great league at our website, ufl.football, for all information there. If you had half as much fun as we did, we had twice as much fun as you. Do not go anywhere. We got more UFL Coast to Coast action coming up here in just a few moments. Miami Pirates, Vegas Devils from Sin City. Josh Circle, Ramos Lynn on the call for that. Stay here, same bad time, same bad channel. We'll send you on over to Sin City in just a moment.
Sin City reigns supreme as the entertainment capital of the world, but tonight, the shining jewel of the Silver State serves as the ideal setting for the anchor game of UFL Coast to Coast, as the Miami Pirates visit the Vegas Devils. Good evening, UFL Nation, up here in the broadcast booth. My name is Josh Circle, and joining me, my best friend for the next 2 hours, the conquistador himself, Ramos Lin. And Ramos, both these teams have had some bad luck in the first few weeks of the season. Which team do you expect to see hit the jackpot tonight?
Well, I think both teams have really a chance this week, Josh. Great to be with you. I mean, we've had maybe the best week of UFL action ever. Like, honestly, it has been so good. And between two teams that desperately need a win and are evenly matched up, I think we're set to have another great one.
Absolutely fantastic slate from the Gridiron Gauntlet. We can get that to the minute. Right now, Miami will begin with the football. They're wearing dark helmets, white tops, and white pants. Vegas wearing black from head to toe, and Miami will run it out to the 30-yard line to get the party started. Rob Crone under center for the Pirates. Trips to his left. And will hand off to start. That is Bullet Boletsky shifting and dashing to the 47-yard line.
Wow, I mean, speaking about jackpot, I mean, right now the Red Sea parted for the Miami offense. Great play on the counter tray, getting the blocks, and really good vision by Boletsky. Probably had a little bit more room on the outside, but nevertheless, a great gain on first down to start Miami off on the right foot.
And slipping through a microscopic hole at the line of scrimmage. We've seen backs in this league dive through holes you could drive a beer truck through. Not the case there for Bullet Boletsky. Crone in the shotgun now at 1st and 10, staying with the bunch set to his left. Here comes the blitz from Vegas. Crone will dump it over the middle. That is caught. And Miami on their first drive is into plus territory. Buck Wild has his first catch of the night.
We take a look at this offense. They're going to need a big game from this offensive line. Bullet Boletsky, Tiberius Bobine, Terrell Cooper, some of the star receivers here for Miami. I mean, they have the opportunity any given week to put a lot of points on the board.
Now Miami facing the #1 pass defense in these Vegas Devils, allowing less than 200 yards a game. Boletsky met at the line of scrimmage, will be driven back. That is Damon Carafel on the tackle. Ramos, what do you like about this Vegas defense?
I mean, what is not to like? I mean, obviously the passing defense, the best in the league. And they do it from everywhere. I mean, the linebackers are good in coverage, and this secondary is also extremely talented. So Vegas can do it all. They can, also have the ability to rush the passer. 3rd down and 5. I'm guessing they will send the dogs after the quarterback.
Back in the shotgun. In a 4-wide set this time, and here come the dogs indeed. Batted down in front. That is incomplete. That'll bring on John Massa, the punter, for the Miami Pirates.
Yeah, and again, I mean, they can send some extra pressure as well. So surprising Miami a little bit with a delayed blitz, and that was a big number 57, Avery Cumberland at 6'4", and with his arms raised up, you're not going to get the ball past him.
A couple of massive gents approaching the quarterback. And now Massa takes the snap and punts it away. And that will go out of bounds at the 22. No return for Las Vegas. Mac Chima. Played in Cincinnati last year, playing at Vegas this year. He'll go play action on first down. Over the middle, that is caught. Ethan Flowers makes the first catch of the game for the Devils. And just like that, Vegas is open for business.
Yeah, both teams start off with about a 20-yard play. Good play action right there to start off. Chima, the offensive line, everybody blocking, a member of the Miami defense. And, when you give a quarterback that amount of time, he's just going to find a receiver. And Flowers was there on the crossing route to make the play.
Flowers arguably the #1 receiver in this Vegas offense. Jack Nitro, halfback supreme, lined up to the left of Mac Chima. 3-wide set now for the Devils. Miami will blitz. Chima will dump it to the right side, and that is caught. First catch of the game for Mike O'Neal. And this Vegas offense off to a great start, Ramos.
Yeah, off to a really, really good start. Quite a bit of speed here on the receiving end from Vegas. Mike O'Neill, the fastest of the receivers, and he makes a quick slant turn into a big gain.
Vegas has kept it close all season. They beat Dallas, the defending Great East champions, but lost on the road to St. Louis and Wichita. Both of those one-score games. Chima now under center in a heavy set, and we've got our first penalty flag of the evening.
Delay of game after the motion. That's going to back him up 5 yards.
And that will happen on occasion when teams get in these motion plays called in and you don't get the place in fast enough. And it looks like they're going to march it back. I believe that's O'Neill lined up at fullback for Jack Nitro, and Nitro has his first carry of the game, good for 10 yards.
Yeah, Jack Nitro, kind of like a running back that we don't see a whole lot in the UFL. He's 5'8", he's a more compact type of back, but can just, go through the cracks of the offensive line.
Nitro, a very large crack there, and he'll go for another 10, make it 11 yards this time. And a fresh set of downs for the Devils. They're approaching the red zone. He's
compact, though. I mean, even though at 5'8", he's about 220 pounds. But very, very shifty, really good opening by the offensive line. And, both offenses have been able to get some explosive plays to start the game.
Ramos, would you say that he's a cut runner? Because he seems to be the kind of athlete that's able to just shift and not have to jump into a cut to change direction.
Yeah, I think it's great for its own blocking scheme where you have to just plant your foot and go straight downhill.
Play action this time. Over the middle goes Chima, and that is caught. Flowers again. It'll be 1st and goal for the Vegas Devils on their first drive of the game.
Yeah, with those colors and that number 5 looking like Drake London for the Falcons in the NFL, also very good at route running and catching the ball. Very strong as well. You can see it takes about 3 different Pirates to bring him to the ground.
Great route as well, and ability to turn upfield. For black and red, I was thinking the Mean Machine from the Longest Yard movies.
There you go. Do they have Nelly at halfback?
That's Jamar Welch at fullback, and he's going to get his first carry of the game. Good for positive yardage, down to the 3. I don't think anybody expected Jamar Welch to get a carry. What about the rest of this Vegas offense?
Well, so far they've done a really good job at blocking. We haven't seen a whole lot from the tight ends, but both Mike O'Neill and Flowers have contributions here on this drive.
Wins to Chima's left. Miami stacking them up here in the box. 5-step drop, lobbing it over the defender, and it's caught for the touchdown! And Vegas is on the board first. Clutch grab with the touchdown reception.
Well, speaking about the tight end, the 6'6", 280-pound tight end, normally more of a blocking player here for the Vegas offense, just leaks right out of the line and just completely uncovered. An amazing drive here to start the game by the Devils.
Opening drive, touchdown for a team that's still looking for its 2nd win of the season. Clutch grab with a well-deserved celebration there with Jack Nitro. And this will be Kalen Watkins to come on for the extra point. Spot is down, kick is up, and it is good, and Vegas has a 7-0 lead right out of the gate.
And such a great drive.
Ramos, while we have a second, we got to talk about this amazing slate of games we saw in Gridiron Gauntlet. We had a walk-off field goal, a walk-off interception. We had Wichita making a touchdown-winning catch with a minute remaining. I mean, it's just more action than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every one of those games decided over the last 2 minutes of play, each and every one of them. It was an amazing, amazing early slate of the UFL. Fully recommend for everybody who missed it to go back on the VOD and watch it.
And perhaps most importantly, New York and Austin Both took care of business, both at 5-0, and both facing each other on UFL Coast to Coast next week. We'll tell you about more of that matchup in a little bit. Miami out to the 21-yard line. That's Doc Holliday handling kick return duties, and Rob Crone will march back out onto the field.
Yeah, some positive things happened for Miami on the last drive. Boletsky had a big run. They just need more consistency from their offense, and hopefully they can get for them an explosive play.
Crone under center on first down. Boletsky will stand to block over the middle. That was nearly intercepted. Great pass defense that time by Damon Carafel. We've called his name a couple times already tonight. It'll be second down.
Yeah, and we have also talked about the other linebackers. We saw a great pass deflection from Avery on the last drive.
Run will throw on second down to his right this time, overthrowing his receiver. That might have been Boletsky. Crossing into the flat, and now 3rd and long for the Pirates.
Yeah, and he was wide open. I mean, Crone, who's had a tremendous season here early in the year, has to connect with those.
Throw to the left side this time. That is caught. And Buck Wild comes up with another big grab to keep his offense on the field.
That was even an even more difficult throw on the dig. It's about a 15-yard dig and in. Really good throw, good catch, and a good play call by the Miami offense.
Here we go. 10 Lobo. You can't block me. You can't block me.
We'll be back in the shotgun now here on first down. 5 DBs on the field for Vegas. Boletsky gets the call. Off the middle, that'll be a first down. Boletsky's 3rd rush for number 33, and that will move the chains.
Looking a bit like Randall Cunningham, also using those green and black colors, going in and under a defender's arm right there at the end, as you can see on the juke, right under the arm, and getting some few extra yards.
Let's go now. 60
Boletsky, a sim football veteran, not only in this league, but in Simulation Football League as well here on VFN. And Crone is going to unleash the dragon. First down the field, has one-on-one coverage, and it's caught for the touchdown. Terrell Cooper bringing it in.
I mean, it's always a good idea to give your 6'5" receiver a jump ball. I mean, there are not too many corners who can beat this. And you cannot beat a perfect throw and an even better catch from Terrell Cooper. I mean, Bridge is right all over him, but he just doesn't have the length. I mean, it just comes down to that. And Cooper makes a tremendous catch for the touchdown.
Terrell Cooper, as good a deep threat as you will find in this league, answers the drive for Vegas, and the extra point makes it 7-7. Oh, we got a good one here, Ramos. Just what I was hoping for.
Yes, we do. I mean, just, keeping on with the momentum of the early slate. This is shaping up to be an amazing one as well. You don't see that very often, Josh, the Vegas defense getting carved up like that, and beaten down the field the way they just did.
Just as we were singing the praises of this defense and bringing pressure, Rob Crone picked a spot, and we see that sometimes where quarterbacks in the first half of games will just chuck one down the field and see what they can get. And more often than not, it's a fruitful enterprise, and it certainly was that time for Miami. Vegas will kneel this in the end zone and take over at the 25. Clutch grab, had the only touchdown before Terrell Cooper found the end zone. Chima will throw on first down, tries to get it underneath, and that is going to be incomplete. Intended for grab again. Let's take a look at this Miami defense.
Yeah, it's a 3-4 defensive set base here for Miami. We've seen a couple of the players, already make some plays. Grant Hardaway, one of the main guys here in the secondary, playing at safety. And, it just looks like we're going to have some points. So they need to make big plays in this game.
Team under center this time, and blown up in the backfield is Nitro. That's Kenneth McGee delivering the running back to the turf. Make it 3rd and long.
Great job by McGee, completely unblocked off the edge, and makes the tackle for a loss. And here, again, it's a 3-4 defensive set with a couple of edge rushers on the outside, and McGee is one that comes completely unblocked.
Bad news for Vegas. And Chima will deliver a quick strike across the middle. That's Flowers out to the 31. Just add that to the punt. It's going to be 4th and 3. And I don't think the Devils will press their luck here.
No, I think they will punt this one away. Chima, makes the right read, getting the completion with Flowers. You allow your wide receiver to get the yards after the catch, but unfortunately for him, just about 3 yards shy of the first down.
On Massa, that's Jared Babbage punting for Vegas. And the kick is away. Fielded at the 18. Let's call it the 23-yard line, where Miami will take over. Get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com. Stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A Printful partnership. All made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. And here comes Rob Crone. He gets his UFL gear for free from the 23-yard line. On the draw on first down, Boletsky breaks 1 tackle, but not the second, as he is brought to the turf by Chris Phillips. 2nd and long.
Good stop for a loss there by the Vegas defense. Again, getting in the backfield. It's a couple of players led again by number 57 on the inside. That is Avery Cumberland. He's already had a couple of big plays here in the first quarter.
Swarming Vegas defense. Creating havoc at the line of scrimmage, and we've got this is where singing their praises, a committed penalty, Ramos.
Yeah, false start by the offensive line. That's actually one of the receivers.
Oh, wow. Looked like he was... Vegas defender was jumping, but was actually drawn. Boletsky, nowhere to go that time either. Avery Cumberland wrestles him to the turf, and now a brutal 3rd and 15 here for the Pirates.
Crone has been able to convert already on a 3rd and long, but this one is even longer from 15.
Crone down the right sideline, looking for Cooper again, and the ball is going to fall incomplete. Much more stable coverage that time by the Vegas secondary. And Crone thought he could just pull that slot machine lever one more time and get a jackpot, but no.
Yeah, better defensive play, and also a little bit more of a lob and overthrown ball, as Vegas's defense does the job. Double coverage and Cooper here on 3rd and long. Phillips gets credited with a pass deflection, and Cooper almost has to work as a defender to avoid the interception.
So dueling 3 and outs for these teams. Vegas will get the ball back as soon as Massa punts this away. Waiting at the 35 is Vegas, and will not get much more than that.
Here we go. Here we go.
So we're trying to get an ID on the punt returner. That's Chris Corrales, cornerback. Setting it up for Mac Chima as Vegas Devils offense, retakes the field. Vegas will go heavy here. 2 tight ends to Chima's left. Motion. Nitro. Down at the 42 with a flag on the play. It's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
Face mask, and we've seen quite a few face mask penalties here in the UFL this week at least. The Salt Lake City game had like 4 or 5 of them.
That is a huge 15-yard bonus for this Vegas offense. That's going to put them in plus territory at the Miami 44. Chima, 4-man rush, throw it to his left. That's caught. Flowers at the left sideline as it's deep down to the 21-yard line. A busy night already for Ethan Flowers.
Yeah, and Flowers has been just unstoppable here in the first quarter. Already nearing 100 yards in the game.
Great route right on the sideline. Trey Ullman having a difficult time covering arguably the most proficient receiver in this Las Vegas offense. Team in the shotgun now, a 4-wide set. Looking that time for his tight end, and that's going to fall incomplete. You saw the numbers there for Chima, 6 of 8, 91 yards, already a touchdown. Not bad for less than a quarter of work, Ramos.
Not bad at all. It's been productive.
Heavy set to Chima's right. Nitro in the backfield by his lonesome. Little bounce through motion, 4-man rush. Chima in and out of the hands of Jamar Welch, and now another 3rd and down. How aggressive you want to be here, Ramos?
Well, 3rd and 10, you're in field goal range, so maybe run a couple of routes past the first down and a couple of drags, and make your decision.
Trips to Chima's right, pressure coming. Has time, he's going to tuck it and go. To the 25, the 20. Tries to break a tackle, but cannot get away from the clutches of Kenneth McGee. And that's going to bring out the field goal unit and Kalen Watkins.
Really good job by the Miami defense. Everything was covered down the field, and also they had a spy for the quarterback on top of it. So a really good job by the Pirate defense, and they will limit this to a maximum of 3 points.
35 yards from the left hash. First field goal attempt tonight for Watkins. It is up and good. And Vegas has a 10-7 lead. Bingo numbers there on the bottom of your screen. We'll be updating those throughout the night based on scores of the game and maybe a bonus number or two as well. Can you read that? That's almost like an eye test for you, Ramos.
Yeah.
If you can't read all those numbers, they're not going to let you drive tomorrow.
2, 7, 17, 14, 36, 3, 21, over 50, 28, 16, 35, 1, 10, 23, 38, 40, 13.
If you're watching us on your cell phone, good luck getting those updated as we progress through the evening. Miami will kneel it in the end zone. They'll come out from 25. Following the UFL action can be daunting, but the best place to catch anything you missed is UFL highlights every week on VFN, giving each and every game the highlight recap you deserve. Catch UFL highlights on the virtual football network. Really, there's no better way to get caught up on UFL action. Crow will hand off to Boletsky here on the first play of their 4th drive of the game. That'll be good for a yard, 2nd and 9.
And the Vegas defense starting to, close in on the halfbacks and, overpowering the offensive line just a little bit.
Brown in the pistol. Bodies flying all around, lets it rip, and it is caught by Cooper. Tremendous catch by the sideline for the first down.
Second time Cooper makes a great catch here in the first quarter of play. This one stretching the length of his body. Knee and bounce, that's a completion. Great throw as well.
And it's never Rob Crone, one of the best to do it in this league. As trusted as any other quarterback with his offense, as you will find, it will throw again here on first down from the logo, and that's going to be picked off. Bobbled in midair, and Vegas has their first turnover of the game, and they have their first defensive score of the game. Stephon Bledsoe taking it to the hizzy on a pick 6.
Off the bubble pass and the deflection right there, Johnny on the spot, and that is the #1 passing defense at work here for Vegas, getting the pick 6 and a huge momentum shifter in this game.
Absolutely massive. You see Tiberius Bovine Jr. has his hands on it. It's batted away by Josh Bridge into the hands of Bledsoe, who had the speed, the angle, and the enthusiasm to bring it to the end zone for Las Vegas. And for a team that's 1-3, their luck might be about to change. Watkins nails the extra point. Vegas leads 17-7 for everything UFL. Into that in a second. After one, Vegas leads by 10. You're watching the UFL coast to coast on the Virtual Football Network. 1 quarter in the books, 3 to go. I'm Josh Circle. He's Ramos Lynn. We're in Las Vegas watching the Pirates play the Devils. And Vegas, after a pick six, has pulled ahead to a 10-point lead. And now the Miami offense will have to retake the field shortly and find some answers, Ramos.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they have to, take care of the football better. I mean, that's kind of like the best or the main thing they have to do for Miami is take care of the football better. And for Vegas, I mean, what they're doing is working defensively. Outside of a couple of great catches from Cooper, they've been awesome so far in tonight's ball game.
Holiday's going to run it out to the 20. Met at the 21, and that is where the Pirates will take over. Nice job on the returning for Doc Holliday tonight. You see the numbers here for Rob Crone. Not a terrible night so far, but that one interception looming large for the Pirates at this point, Ramos.
Yeah, it really has.
Brett will start the shotgun on first down, going right back to the air after the interception and just ever so slightly overthrows his receiver, you might say just a bit outside. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and again, it's the second time we've seen Crone overthrow a pass going towards the sidelines. He's been much better throwing the ball in between the hash marks.
Thrown to his left here on 2nd down. That is caught. It's Cooper, who can't manage any yardage after the catch. And it'll be 3rd and long from the 24.
Yeah, because the pass was a little bit behind him again, struggling a little bit with throwing the ball outside the numbers. Cooper makes the catch, but unable, as you said, to get any yards after the catch. So another 3rd down and long here for Miami. It's going to be about 3rd and 7 upcoming.
So the coaching staff for Miami showing faith in Crone with back-to-back pass play calls right after the pick, but Crone maybe a little jittery. Can he come through on 3rd and 7? There's a big throw and a big catch. Terrell Cooper brings it in, and the Miami offensive drive will stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, it's been Terrell Cooper just dominating so far here in this game, kind of like the same way Ethan Flowers has dominated on the other side. Terrell Cooper has been awesome, covered that time by Cumberland and unable to make the play on the ball. Really good throw by Crone on that one.
It's a tall order for Cumberland trying to cover one of the best wide receivers in the league on a crossing route. Crone back to the air, and that is caught again. Right at midfield. I believe that was Buck Wild.
Yep.
For a fresh set of downs, his 3rd catch of the game.
Yeah, Miami moving the ball really well here on this drive.
You would expect them to be cautious after the pick. They've been exactly the opposite. Only now do they go to the ground with Boletsky. And Boletsky gets them to the 41 for a great gain on 1st down.
Yeah, and passing the ball, that's what passing the ball does for an offense. Now the safeties are starting to back off a little bit more, and that's where you can have some good runs.
Bovine Jr. lined up to Crone's right. 7-step drop. This time over the middle, Cooper again. He's been busy on this drive, down at the 29. The Pirates offense continuing to hum. Cooper already over the 100-yard mark for the game. We are just inside the 2nd quarter. Boletsky play action. They fake the draw, throw it to the right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Doc Holliday, the intended receiver. Crone led him just a little too far.
Yeah, a little bit out and low there by Crone. Had his player. He had his man open.
How about an empty set here, Ramos? 5 wideouts on the field for Miami. Crone deals, and that is caught. Going to be 3rd and inches or centimeters, depending on your nationality.
Yeah, Green with the catch. First catch of the game by Green.
Shotgun on 3rd and inches. This is interesting. 4-man rush from Vegas. Crone dealing toward the end zone, and that is caught. Buck Wild, did he have his feet in bounds? They say yes. 1st and goal for the Pirates.
Let's take a look at this replay. Let's see if we can get a good angle on this one. It does look like he's in bounds, at least on that replay. That one is not a good look. The pylon cam. Yep.
Oh, that's tremendous footwork by Buck Wild. And a great shot for the pylon cam to boot. 1st and goal for the Pirates. Boletsky in the backfield. He gets the call down at the 5. Blown up in the backfield by the Vegas defense. 2nd down.
And Boletsky tried to, kind of like read the opening. I think in this area of the field, you just have to plow forward.
And now trips the cones right. Boletsky out for a breather. And that is number 21, Lamont Bourne. Jeez Louise, that's Lamont Bourne for the touchdown.
Another undersized running back here in this game, also about 5'8". He's even lighter at about 180 pounds. And, great blocking by the Miami offensive line. And they're right back in it. Just going to be down 3 points after the extra point.
Tremendous answer to the interception by Rob Crone in that Miami Pirates offense. Credit to the play calling for keeping the ball in the air and moving it down the field. Billy Sawatsky adds the extra point, and the lead is trimmed to 3. Next week on UFL Coast to Coast, Austin and New York, the last 2 unbeaten teams in the UFL collide to decide who is 2026's media darling, followed by Wichita at Phoenix, St. Louis and San Diego, next on the UFL here on the Virtual Football Network. And Ramos, Eric Vincent is scheduled to call that Austin, New York game. I might have to see if I could grease a couple palms, pull that game away from him to get behind the mic for that one.
It's going to be a great one.
With Austin and New York taking care of business, Vegas trying to take care of business here tonight. Marching out to the 21-yard line is Chris Corrales on the kick return. And Mac Chima put together a nice game so far, wouldn't you say, Ramos?
Yeah, I mean, both offenses have shown they can really move the ball. Vegas, despite only having about 117 yards of offense, they've had a few explosive plays like that one.
Nitro runs out of the 4-wide set. He's going to move the chains right away on his 5th carry of the game, and that's a Vegas 1st down.
Really shifty move there on the outside. First, we talked about it, how his lower frame can just plant the foot and cut on a dime and, get off field, and that's tremendous athleticism and change of direction by the halfback.
Looking at total yardage on the game so far, Miami has surged to a lead, 208 to 129. Vegas maybe could close the gap on this drive. As Chima goes under center, and it looks like we're going to have another delayed game, Ramos.
Yep, yes, we are.
And that's exactly the opposite of what you need when you're trying to build some inertia and preserve a dwindling lead, already down to 3 points.
Yeah.
I believe that's Welsh in the backfield checking in. That fullback paving the way for Nitro. Nitro out to the 34. We make it a more manageable 2nd and 9. McGee on the tackle.
Yeah, and those going back to the delay of game, those yards start to pile up, and you cannot make those kinds of mistakes. Those kill drives.
Chima on the slant, that is caught. Ethan Flowers, that's going to be close to a 1st down. They're going to say yes. And the chains move again here on this Vegas drive. Ethan Flowers with another big grab.
Yeah, big catch. Tough in the middle on that one.
81 yards on the game for Flowers so far. Nitro, little slow getting out of 1st gear, and he is met in the backfield. That's Sean Walker on the stop.
Another tackle for a loss in this game. Again, the defense, it was about 2 or 3 players getting in the backfield. As the offensive line cannot contain them that time. It's going to be second and a long 12.
It looked like Nitro almost knew he was dead on arrival as soon as he got that football.
Yeah.
Welch back in at fullback, second and 12. They go to Nitro off the right side this time. And he's tackled from behind. That's Dexter Murdoch that caught up the trailing lineman. And now third and long.
Yep, another third and long. Miami needs to put some pressure on the quarterback. They've been unable to put pressure on the QB.
Gimo, a deep drop. Waiting. Continuing to wait, then finally unleashes it to Flowers, who's open on the right side. A tremendous seam for Ethan Flowers to find his way. Good for 29 yards.
Yeah, it's only a 3-man rush, and they are unable to put any pressure on Chima. It's not even close. And again, if you have like 10 seconds to throw the ball, you're asking too much of your secondary to cover for that long. It's pretty much impossible.
Ethan Flowers eclipses the 100-yard mark with that catch. He's at 110 right now. Vegas looking for a touchdown. Play action. Chima over the middle again. This time it's caught. Down to the 2. It'll be first and goal. Mike O'Neal with the big-time grab.
Good play calling, good throw, good catch, but especially great job by blocking by the running back. You can see it right there after the play action. He immediately puts hands on the blitzing defender, which allows, obviously, Chima to have the time to throw the ball.
And you saw Flowers in the back of the end zone stretching that defense out. Giving room for Mike O'Neal to make his big-time grab. Rob Crone sees what's ahead of him. And now first and goal for the Devils. Nitro blown up in the backfield. About 6 white jerseys surrounding the running back. Second down.
Second and goal. It's been tough to run the ball here in the goal line sets for both teams. I mean, we did see Miami punching in, but the previous run to that one was also a loss. So they may have to get creative, and well, they're gonna go empty.
Creative enough for you. Right here on the goal line. One step, and that is picked off. Miami has their turnover of the game, and this looks like this could be a pick 6 as well. Kenneth McGee, does he have the steam? The 20, the 10, touchdown Miami!
Touchdown.
Wow.
Mac Chima could not catch him, and the linebacker goes coast to coast. Call it 99 yards on the interception return, and Miami has shifted the tide of this game.
Wow, what hands by the linebacker. I mean, it's all hands right there by McGee, and he goes the distance. Unbelievable play by the linebacker, and going empty is always a risk when you're inside the 10-yard line. The space is just not there, and you need to have perfectly accurate throws to make it happen, and that one was an errant one.
Kowalski boots the extra point, and Miami finds themselves with a 4-point lead, 21-17. And to your point about going empty, Ramos, McGee almost realized when there are no running backs back there that he could just play the pass with abandon, and was able to get a jump on that route, and not only on the route, but also on the return, and nobody caught it.
And a pick 6 is responded by a pick 6.
From the SFL production truck, we got a bonus bingo number coming in, 43. 4-3. Add that to your collage of bingo numbers that we will continue to update throughout the night. And now Mac Chima will have to overcome some adversity this time, as we see some highlights from the drive that ended with even less than a whimper, Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great game. Both the defenses have a touchdown, and with 2:27, Vegas still has some time to, put some points on the board.
Very much so. And Chima will try and do just that. Nearly intercepted again. Right into the hands of the defender. That was Trey Holloman. We've been calling his name a bit tonight. Second down. Woo.
Hey, dangerous.
To say the very least. Chima to Nitro this time. Nitro to the 31. And we may have seen with that near interception a shift in the offensive philosophy of these Vegas Devils, Ramos.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
2-minute warning. Vegas has had their warning on the field already. The Pirates leading. They are in Nevada.
He's crashing. He's checking.
UFL Coast to Coast. I'm Josh Zirkle. He's Ramos Lynn. Mac Chima looking for his receiver, and that's going to fall incomplete as Jack Nitro can't find the handle. This will be 4th down, and Miami will get one more bite at the apple here.
Yeah, they will, with 3 timeouts nonetheless. Decent throw, but unfortunately doesn't have the hands to make the catch.
Ramos, I swear it wasn't 5 minutes ago. We saw Rob Crone sitting on the bench like somebody shot his dog. And just like that, not only does he have a 4-point lead, he will have a chance to add to that. As this ball is punted away by Jared Babbage.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And the Pirates will have 75 yards of field to work with and just under 2 minutes to play.
Yeah. Terrell Cooper already with a sensational first half, 5 catches, 109, and a touchdown.
54. Rabbit.
Crone will start the shotgun, 1:50 to play in the half. Here comes the corner blitz. Crone will dump it over the middle. That's caught. Boletsky misses a tackle, gets to the first down yardage. Clock continues to run, 1:40 to play.
Yeah, no need to call a timeout. You know, maybe have a quick huddle and go back to the line.
And the Grady's champion Dallas Talons back in action tomorrow night against St. Louis. That's UFL primetime right here tomorrow night.
Here we go. 60 outlaw.
With 1:30 and counting, Rob Crone back in the shotgun. 5 DBs on the field for Vegas. 4-man rush. Crone has time. The feet are shifting. The ball is searing down the field. And that is a catch from Doc Holliday. And the Pirates are in plus territory with 1:13 to play.
Yeah, shout out to the offensive line again, giving the quarterback all day to throw. Really good ball as well from Crone. And Miami is in plus territory. Again, no need to call a timeout just yet. Over a minute left here in the first half.
All the minutes and seconds you would require to get down the field. We still have more than a minute to play. As Crone lines up on that Vegas logo, trips to his right. Here comes the blitz, throwing, and that is caught. And it's Holliday again, his second catch of the drive. The clock continues to run, 52 seconds remaining.
Yep, Crone over 200 passing yards. Again, that's pretty much Vegas's averages defensively, what they allow per game. So Miami really finding good routes to get the receivers open.
Nice catch of turn upfield by Holliday. It's hard to run through 2 defenders. It's Josh Bridge first on the scene for Vegas. 41 seconds remaining. Crone, Boletsky stays in the block over the middle. That is caught. That's Buck Wild, and Miami will use their first time out of the half.
Yeah, and they're getting big chunk plays. I mean, it's not only 2-3 yards here and there. I mean, they're getting, 15-yard throws and 20-yard throws. So this is a great drive. They're already in field goal range, and they still have plenty of time with 2 timeouts to get the ball in the end zone.
And Vegas, Ramos, who was heavy to blitz early in the game, is now opting to drop 7 in coverage, and they do so again here. Throwing to the end zone, that is bobbled in the air, and then incomplete. Leo Green, the intended receiver, and the clock stops with 30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I like taking the shot, though. I mean, first down and 10, why not take a shot at the end zone? You already did it once with Cooper and worked out perfectly for you.
Fair enough. Crone has trips to his right. Boletsky will go out in traffic. Throw it to the corner. That is incomplete. It might have been Cooper, the intended receiver. A couple of white jerseys in the vicinity. Now 3rd down.
Outstanding play in coverage. I mean, he didn't have the possession or the position, but just racing and just stretching the arm and knocking that one away.
Picked a tight window to throw that one. Will he pick an equally tight window here? Under pressure from the backside, and he's taken down. Tyrone Johnson with a clutch sack to make it 4th down.
Yeah, now and that makes it a tricky field goal attempt. It will be about a 46-yard field goal from there, as Johnson on the 4-man rush is able to beat the tackle, get in the backfield, get the sack. Decent job by Chrome protecting the football at least, but you have to make sure to at least throw it away or something.
And there was absolutely nobody to throw to. Great view from the wide shot there. And Miami will burn another timeout here.
Yep, with 4 seconds, that will be the last play of the half.
Join the UFL Discord or claim your player. Get started at UFL.football and shop from a variety of sim superstars in this football universe at UFL.football. This will be a 46-yard field goal attempt right down the middle for Billy Sawatsky, and that is good. And that will end the first half. Miami, they're up on the night by 7. 24-17. Ramos Lynn, your thoughts on the first half?
We've had a great half. Both defenses have had some really good plays. Both offenses have had really good plays. Both wide receiver ones have had amazing production. Obviously, Terrell Cooper from one side, and in the other side is been Ethan Flowers. So explosive offenses, some good defensive plays, and just again keeping with the momentum that we had in the early slate. A 24-17 ball game, and we still have a whole half to play.
Certainly do. Dueling quarterbacks, we have dueling pick sixes, and defenses playing their hearts out. Vegas will start the second half with the football as Sawatsky prepares to kick off. And again, Vegas so close. All three of their losses decided by exactly 13 points. And their only win coming against the defending Great East Conference champions, the Dallas Talons. And they trail by 7 as they start with the football here in quarter number 3.
For Vegas, offensive line has done a really good job. Again, Miami really hasn't put any pressure on the quarterback. But it's about the other players other than Flowers, that need to show up and, make some plays for this offense.
Or 6 catches on the night for 110 yards. Chima tried to redistribute and unsuccessful in his first attempt. 2nd down.
Dangerous throw right there almost. It could have been intercepted by the Miami defense.
5 DBs on the field for the Pirates. Chima to Nitro. Nitro, no blocking whatsoever on the edge, and he will be dropped for a loss. Steiner first on the scene. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Yeah, not looking great. I mean, Nitro, the defense from Miami, has done a much better job against Nitro here over the last quarter of play.
Absolutely. Nitro arguably lost a little bit of that burst despite moments like this where they've gone empty and Nitro has been on the sideline. Chima on 3rd and 12, throwing has his receiver, complete down the field and all the way to the 25. Vegas back in the red zone. Mike O'Neal.
Unbelievable. How did he get that open? I mean, the safety is supposed to be there. That was number
Trey Allman.
42. Yeah, Allman. And again, it's just a busted coverage by the Miami defense.
And Allman, who played an amazing game up to this point, was just thinking about the football and did not expect O'Neal to turn on the jets and get all the way down to the 25. Chima in the shotgun. Three-man rush this time from Miami, and that pass is incomplete as well. Second down.
Second down and 10. Heavy set. They may, again, try to run the ball again.
Mar Welch back in at fullback, and Welch gets another call, and Welch meets the same fate as Nitro has met a couple times on this drive. Kenneth McGee escorting him to the turf for a TFL.
Yeah, the run game is just not working anymore. Yes, they started okay for Vegas, but it's just not working at all, and McGee just plugs the hole and gets the big tackle for a loss.
I think putting a tight end on Kenneth McGee was a big mistake, and we saw it unfold there. Chima on 3rd and 11. That is caught, and just barely over the line to gain. Giving Vegas another first down is Jack Nitro, his first catch of the game.
Yeah, and he had been targeted before in this game, also on 3rd down. That time goes on an out route, and just enough, but gets the first down.
Mentioned the height of Jack Nitro at 5'8". He almost hid from that secondary. Nobody seemed interested in covering him in the flat behind the line of scrimmage. And now Vegas knocking on the doorstep, looking for a potential game-tying touchdown. Chima finds Nitro again. Nitro to the 10 and down to the 8. Second down.
Good play right there to make it a second and very short. I don't know if the running game will work this time. It hasn't, but watch out for some sort of play-action throw.
Nitro again. And that's going to be close, maybe a yard away from the sticks. And now 3rd and 1. They've managed to get a push that time, Ramos.
Yes, and I know he's your main back, but I wonder if you put Diedrich Wright at 6'1" to at least try to punch it in from 1 yard out, maybe. Not a bad choice here for the Vegas offense. A running back that hasn't had an attempt so far in this game, but no, Nitro's still in the field.
Welch stays in at fullback. Nitro will get the call to the 5, to the 3. Short of the goal line, but past the line again. It'll be 1st and goal for Vegas.
Good job by the Vegas offensive line. They have the pulling offensive lineman Duncan as well, providing some extra block on the left-hand side. Good job of McDowell as well. Number 80 blocking Murdoch, the defensive lineman.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3 tight ends to Chima's right. Nitro by himself. They fake the handoff. They fake the screen pass. And Chima's going to throw it over the head of his receiver. It's 2nd down.
Yeah, a little bit too slow developing here for my liking at the 1 yard line.
Same formation. Ethan Flowers at the bottom of your screen. The only white out in the game. Nitro goes to play action. Chima with time. And throws it to the sideline. It's picked off again. And again, Miami has a head of steam heading toward the end zone. That is Devin Aytook. An 8-2 Brute. Miami with their 2nd pick 6 of the game.
In their 2nd 90-plus yard pick 6. I mean, it's basically a carbon copy of the last one. A linebacker in coverage intercepts the ball and goes the distance. The coach cannot believe it. And the Miami Pirates, with 14 points off of pick 6s, will take a 14-point lead.
Jack Nitro looked like he didn't have either foot in bounds. And he got a tremendous jump on this ball that Aytook. And there was just nobody there to catch him. And Aytook pointed to the scoreboard, letting everybody know that Miami has jumped ahead of this game and a commanding 31-17 lead pending the extra point, which is good. And the margin now 14 for the Pirates. My goodness.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And shout out to the speed of the linebacker for going all the way without being caught from behind.
What a tremendous advantage. When he caught that ball, he was already stepping toward the end zone. and only needed another 2 or 3 steps to get to full speed, whereas everybody else on the field had to change direction and do like they did just 15 minutes ago, chase a defender with their football all the way back to their end zone. A Trail of Tears reenacted for the second time this evening. Vegas's drives leading back to the first quarter. Field goal, red zone interception, 3 and out, red zone interception. After Chima only threw 2 interceptions in his first 4 games, has 2 pick sixes tonight, and he has to march back out on the field. Ooh. And he's going to take a helping of punishment there from number 95, Dexter Murdoch.
I don't know what type of play it was. It was kind of like a play-action rollout, and just Murdoch goes unimpeded to the quarterback.
This Vegas offense, Ramos, might be on the verge of collapse.
Yeah.
Dedrick Wright has checked into the game, was in on the last play. Will get the carry here. Interesting development. No, excuse me, that's number 39. It's Marlon Cunningham. Dedrick Wright, nowhere to be seen at this point. You saw the graphic with all zeros on it earlier. And that will stay at all zeros as Chima goes empty here on 3rd and 15. Here comes the blitz. Lets it rip. That is caught. And a big catch once again from Mike O'Neal to bail his team out of a dicey situation.
Once again, Mike O'Neal goes uncovered right outside the numbers. It's the linebacker, covering that zone, and you take that, that throw every day. I mean, it's a linebacker against a receiver. O'Neal should win this one 10 times out of 10.
Nitro back in the game at tailback. Lined up by his lonesome 3 tight ends to his right. And now motion, play clock at 2. Will they get this off? They do not. Another delay of game. The 3rd in as many quarters for the Devils offense. Absolutely brutal mistake at this point, Robin.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's been the face masks on the Salt Lake City game, and it's been the delay of games here in this game. 1st and 15.
Nitro will remain the lone setback. Twin tight ends to his left. Nitro gets the call. Brought down after a gain of maybe 2. That's Robert Crone. Not to be confused with quarterback Rob Crone, but Robert Crone making the tackle. 2nd and 12. Mar Welch back in at fullback. Motion again. Play clock down to 3 this time. They get it off. Nitro around the right side. And Nitro will barely penetrate the midfield stripe to make it 3rd and 10.
Yeah, 3rd and very long. They need to make sure to cover the receivers, O'Neal and Flowers on the outside.
4 wide set, 4-man rush. Nitro stays in the block. Chima lets it rip. That is caught over the middle. And again, another chunk play bailing out the Vegas Devils. This time it's David Glidden in his first catch of the game.
Great throw and catch. Not easy to do. I mean, the Miami defender was plastered all over him. And they needed 15. They needed 10, and they got 20.
Here they will take 20 with no issue.
You got nothing.
Vegas approaching the red zone again, where most of their issues have lied, not only tonight, but for the season. Nitro to the 20, and you see the numbers there, 16 carries for 64 yards. Not a bad night for the running back.
Not at all. It's been a productive night, now ramping up a little bit after a little bit of a dip.
2nd and 1. And Chima going to throw toward the end zone. That is caught. Ethan Flowers has it at the 3. They will spot him at the 2. 1st and goal.
Yeah, best throw of the night for Chima. He got blasted as he was throwing the ball. As you can see on this replay, absolutely annihilated. And Flowers still makes the catch for a 1st and goal.
Vegas has thrown 2 pick sixes, both of them were right here near the goal line. They go with the power eye. Welch. Welch gets the call. Welch is blown up for a loss. Demetrius Coleman. No, excuse me, that's David Atuk, who had the second pick six, gets blown up. Making the tackle. Coleman there to help clean up.
Miami defense has been incredible inside the 20-yard line. 2 pick sixes inside their own 20.
Inside their own 5, basically. Chima will throw again. Out of the bunch set. He's going to let it sail through the back of the end zone. His risk tolerance, understandably, a bit meager at this point. 3rd and goal.
Yeah. 3rd and goal, indeed. I formation, 2 receivers. See some play action.
Welch and Nitro in the background, in the backfield. Chima's going to get popped right at the jump. And that's Rip Cubey, who we've not heard from all night, making a big stop there with a big first sack of the game.
Yeah, it's another big-time play here by the Miami defense in the goal line. And Vegas will have to settle for 3 points.
Another disappointing trip to the red zone. This will be 22 yards from the left hash for Kalen Watkins. And that kick is good, and it's 31-20. The Miami lead. Miami has an 11-point lead, and they also have the football. Get your UFL gear at UFLshop.com, stocked with the best tees, sweatshirts, flags, and more. A printful partnership, all made in the USA for easy shipping. It's UFL you can wear at UFLshop.com. And I know many of you are going to rush to your browser windows to pick up a teal Miami Pirates t-shirt or hoodie, to which I say congratulations. It's always fun to wear gear from your favorite team, regardless if they play in a stadium or on your computer screen. Holiday will run this out to the 25. And Rob Crone absolutely in the driver's seat at this point. You see the numbers there for Boletsky. He may get a few more carries on this drive, Ramos.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go with 4 receivers, though, this time.
Crone will throw on first down. Across the middle, Terrell Cooper makes the defender miss out to the 40. They will spot it at the 40. Rob Crone approaching 250 yards passing. And for Vegas, they have allowed significantly more than their per-game average tonight.
Yeah, I know they have, and it's been obviously mostly because of Cooper, who's had a tremendous game from start to finish. He got us going with that incredible touchdown at the start of the game, and he's just been uncoverable. He's made every route. He's made the goal route. We've seen it on crossers. We've seen it all over the field.
Brown will throw again. A very dangerous catch made by Boletsky, and Boletsky will get out to midfield. And the thing about this Miami offense, Ramos, is that they don't have a legit number one. Week to week, these guys have taken turns being the number one receivers, depending on which game it is. Thrown to Cooper again. Cooper to the 45, down to the 44. Last week, Buck Wild had 5 catches for 178 yards and a touchdown. The week before that, Tiberius Bovine Jr., their leading receiver, with 7 catches. The week before that, you had 4 guys with 5 catches each. And Crone fires a bullet to end the third quarter. May I have some 4s in chat, please? The Miami Pirates are up in Vegas. They lead 31-20. You're watching UFL Coast to Coast on the Virtual Football Network. So glad to have you with us. I'm Josh Circle. He's Ramos Lynn. This is Charlie Boletsky breaking tackles, running up the left side and turning upfield down to the 20. A tremendous run by the Bullet of rush number 9 of the game.
Yeah, he hasn't carried the ball a whole lot, but that is by far his best one so far tonight. I mean, he gets to the outside, breaks a couple tackles, and it just takes about 5 different Vegas players to bring him to the ground.
Just tremendous. You can almost see the steam coming out of this Vegas defense, trailing by 11. They know this is a vital stop that they have to make on Miami. There comes the blitz. That pass is caught. Another tight window completion for Rob Crone. That time it's Lyle Green, only his second catch of the game.
And the clock keeps running, and they will milk the clock as much as possible.
Under the shotgun again. Boletsky in motion. He'll line up in the slot, and they didn't get it off fast enough. A delay game this time for Miami.
Yeah. 2nd and 12 in this area of the field is very, very tricky for the Pirates to maneuver.
Miami sideline not happy about it. Play continues. Boletsky in the backfield by his lonesome. Wild and Cooper at the bottom of your screen. Boletsky gets the call. Back inside the 20, down to the 17. And this almost benefits Miami, Ramos, because they get a chance to run a few more plays and take time off the clock in a 2-score game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. 3rd down and 8. Only 2 wide receivers in this one.
Crone. Boletsky stays in the block under pressure this time, and down he goes. Vegas comes up with a big sack to push Crone to the cusp of field goal range. That's Cameron Bumpers with a big-time bump by the Miami quarterback.
Yeah, and again, kind of, it doesn't push them out of field goal range, but makes it a much harder 46-yard field goal attempt from this area on the field. Bumpers gets the sack. And again, 2nd time we've seen a big-time Vegas sack in the green zone.
I will push him back on 4th down. As you said, Ramos, 46 from the right half of that part of the field. The kick is good. And Sawatsky adds 3 more to the Miami lead. It's 34-20. Next week on UFL Coast to Coast, Austin and New York. The last 2 teams undefeated in the UFL, both 5-0. Both getting out of today with wins. Meeting, colliding on UFL Coast to Coast. Also, Wichita at Phoenix, St. Louis meeting San Diego. That's all next week on UFL action right here at the Virtual Football Network. And I'm getting pumped for that New York-Austin game. I'm going to lose my mind. I got so much to look for. I mean, already. I'm going to start prep on that game tonight. I'm not going to mess around.
It's going to be a great one.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Corrales will get this out to the 21. And the clock is not the friend of Mac Chima at this point. 9.5 to play. They need 2 scores, and they need one of them very soon. Chima will throw toward the sideline. That is caught. A tremendous start to the drive. Clutch grab. First we've heard of him since the touchdown in the first quarter. But good for a first down.
Yeah, both quarterbacks have been airing it out, you know, for good or for bad. They've been very aggressive in tonight's ball game. Grab gets the catch, toe taps, and gets out of bounds. As you said, a really strong start to this drive.
Absolutely. The balls have been flying in this game. It has been great to watch. And now Chima in the shotgun again. And again to the right side. And again a completion. And again, another first down. That's first catch of the game for Darius Maddox. Welcome to the stat sheet, Mr. Maddox.
A couple of really good throws to the outside. And Miami, again, struggling a little bit outside the numbers to make plays on the ball. You know, we saw O'Neal get a couple of big-time catches on the outside.
Most of those big plays have been on those balls between the numbers and the sideline. This time, Chima opts to go over the middle, and Nitro can't bring it in. And you see the numbers there, 322 yards passing. By the stats, a great night for Chima. Of course, those 2 interceptions, both run back for touchdowns, looming as large as you could imagine with his team trailing by 14. Chima under pressure, finally lets it rip, and that is well off target. And bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, he got crushed as he was releasing the ball. He had to throw the ball about a half a second before he wanted to on the comeback route. And he just got put down.
Both safeties showing blitz, and then they back off. They hand off to Nitro. Interesting, they decided to stay in a running play there. That's going to bring up 4th and 5. Do you go for it here, Ramos?
Well, if you run the ball on 3rd and long, that tells me you're going to absolutely go for it on 4th and 5. And in this area of the field, I don't see any other option here for Vegas. I think you absolutely have to go for it.
Great observation on 3rd down. You see Nitro in the bullet time camera. Just too many white jerseys to dodge at that point. And as you said, they're going to go 4th and 5. Got to have it. Twins to Chima's left. Nitro's going to go on a route. He throws to his right. That is caught. Mike O'Neal once again. The man of the hour coming up with a big grab to keep Vegas on the field.
It was Flowers in the first half, and it's been Mike O'Neal in the second half, as he's over 130 yards receiving in tonight's game.
Ethan Flowers definitely conspicuous by his absence in this second half. Chima to the right side, that is caught. And that's Maddox again, his 2nd catch of this drive and of the night. We'll make it 2nd down. Nitro on the sideline for this play. Chima finds his receiver. Is that grab getting his team into the red zone? It is. And a fresh set of downs now for the Devils. 7 minutes to play here in regulation.
But this drive is working really well here for Vegas. They still have some good time left on the clock.
Red zone is where all their troubles have been, not only tonight, but for the season. Chima with time, throwing to the sideline, caught by Flowers. And Ethan Flowers has his team inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Devils.
Very close to getting into the end zone, stopped at the 3. But again, this is where Miami's defense has been at their best.
What does Vegas decide to do here on 1st and goal? They hand off to Nitro, and Nitro is blown up at the 5-yard line. That play didn't fool anybody, as the Pirates' penetration stopped Nitro in his tracks. That was a wildcat there a little bit, it looked like.
Yeah. Again.
I think that's Darius Maddox is going back to pass, and Maddox is going to get dropped. What has happened to Mac Chima?
Well, what has happened to the offensive coordinator? Excuse me. I mean, they're just completely out of sorts, and they're going to go again.
And Maddox still under center, and Maddox is going to throw it to the end zone and overthrows Flowers by a significant margin, and now 4th and goal.
I don't know if it's because Chima is hurt, or just the offense is trying to do some uncharacteristic stuff. I mean, after the 2 pick sixes, maybe trying something different. It looks like Chima is back, but a just bizarre turn of events here.
I think that was an intentional wildcat package by Vegas. 4th and goal. The blitz is on. Chima to the end zone, and that is nearly intercepted again, but it falls incomplete, and Vegas will turn it over on downs.
I mean, the red zone for Vegas has been an absolute disaster in tonight's ball game, and for Miami, another big-time stop defensively. Vegas has been able to move the ball almost at will in this game, but when they get inside the 15-yard line, they just forget how to play football. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
Maddox in at quarterback. I mean, we need an explanation for that. That is unbelievable. As Miami gets the ball back.
Oh, man.
And Bullet Boletsky is just running over a Vegas defense that's understandably dumbfounded by this series of events.
Yeah, I mean, in the red zone, turnover on downs, interception, touchdown, and then only a field goal. You know, and they've gotten sacked. You know, it's they have to work on the red zone package.
It has haunted them all season long. Dallas, we mentioned that they beat Dallas in week 2. That is the only game where they've scored more than one touchdown, at least before tonight. As a matter of fact, their only touchdowns, clutch grab in their first drive of the game. And then the pick 6 from Stephon Bledsoe. And that's it. Boletsky to the 30. They'll spot him at the 29. And Boletsky has an outside chance to reach 100 yards before we exit stage left tonight.
Down. 10-2 stop. Let's go. Double tight.
Boletsky again, this time to the left side. That's a fresh set of downs.
That's going to be another 2 minutes off the clock here, at least to the 2-minute warning.
All right, let's bring in Cameron Irvine, UFL co-commissioner. And Cam, if whatever insight you could offer us on what just happened on Vegas's last goal line effort would be most appreciated. Good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, guys, Vegas has had that Wildcat package in their playbook since the beginning of last season, but I've never seen it called down in the red zone like that, and certainly never seen it called in no huddle before. And once you get into a no huddle, you can't change out of that personnel until that clock stops. And so because they had back-to-back plays where the clock didn't stop, they ended up trapped in a package that they wouldn't necessarily want to be in. I'm sure the team, if they end up losing this game, is going to at least want to see that Wildcat removed out of the red zone portion of the game plan, if not altogether. But that is just terrible bad luck there for Vegas.
Vegas is the capital of bad luck, as we know. Cameron, thank you very much. And so ironic, Ramos, that Maddox's incompletion over the head of Ethan Flowers was, in a sense, the most productive play of that sequence because it got him off the field.
Right.
Also interesting, we did not see that goal line package.
Yep.
But before, when the other two instances where Vegas had first to go, Boletsky again, this time running wild and free. And we're gonna get a timeout here with 2:02 to play.
Right, and that's about game over. And that's about game over right there, Josh. I mean, they have the 2-minute timeout and one more timeout on their own, but another first down and 10, down 2 possessions. It just looks like the Pirates have put this one to bed.
Yeah, with the field position and being down 2 scores, certainly bad news. Boletsky again. And that will get us to the 2-minute warning. That'll get Boletsky to close to 100 yards, 99 to be exact. As we hit the 2-minute warning, Miami rolls into Sin City. They're about to roll out with a win. They've got Vegas on the ropes here in the 11th round, 34-20. You're watching UFL Coast to Coast on the Virtual Football Network. We might have spoken too soon about Bullet Boletsky coming up with 100 yards. He just got dropped for a loss as Vegas burns their last time out. Thank you for sticking it out with us. I'm Josh Zirkle. He's Ramos Lynn. Miami on their way to advancing to 3-2 if they could hold on to a 14-point lead here. They have the football against the home team Vegas Devils, who have lost all 3 of their games, of their losses, by a combined 13 points. And they are primed to lose this one by 14 points as they get a stop here to make it 3rd and long. Ramos, assuming the result holds, who would you tab as your player of the game?
You know, I'd have to go with Terrell Cooper, actually, Josh. I mean, I can go with one of the linebackers who got pick sixes in this game, but I think it all started because of Terrell Cooper, and he was in my opinion, the best football player on the field tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Had over 100 yards receiving in the first half. A reliable target for Rob Crone. And Boletsky now stuck at 97 yards. And with it being 4th and 12, will probably finish the game there, as the Pirates bring on Billy Sawatsky to make this a 17-point game. Although I don't know, this might be from the 43. That looks like they will punt it away. That's John Massa. He's going to try and pin Vegas deep one more time. The pooch is up. Fair catch. And not quite enough backspin on the Pro V1 to keep it out of the end zone. And I agree with what the Vegas locker room had been saying heading into the week, and what other people I'm sure have said about Vegas. I mean, they're right there. They just had some tremendously bad luck in the red zone tonight. Not one, but 2 pick sixes thrown and run back. And there was an impressive grab by Nitro to keep this thing going. Visually, that might have been the play of the night. And the Pirates defense telling him so.
Yeah, that was a great catch.
Nitro again going up the field here. With 8 seconds to play, that's probably going to do it.
Yeah.
What an absolutely bonkers game, as most nights in Vegas turn out to be. Congratulations to the Miami Pirates. You're marching out of Vegas with a W. Ramos Lynn, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth McGee gets, the player of the game part of the game, but, I think both offenses at points looked amazing. The Pirates defense in the red zone made the difference in this game overall with 2 pick sixes. I mean, that's the difference, 14 points. And they just could not stop Terrell Cooper. I'm talking about Vegas. They just could not stop Terrell Cooper. He was a menace all over the game. A combined 600-plus yards passing for both teams. And just a great game, unfortunately, for Vegas. The red zone woes come back to bite them, and that's because that's why they lost this game.
Congratulations one more time to the Miami Pirates. We'll see you tomorrow night for UFL Primetime. For Cameron Irvine, for Ramos Lynn, I'm Josh Circle. Thank you for joining us. Till then, we'll see you on the internet. Good night from Vegas.